The season opener from Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology here on RHIT.TV. Tony Donahue and Zion Brown with you. We've got a great matchup for you to kick off the 2025 season here from Terre Haute, where the Fighting Engineers welcome in DePauw. This rivalry going all the way back to 1894. 5-10 is the record here in Terre Haute for Rose-Hulman. And the last time the Fighting Engineers picked up a victory over DePauw was 2003. They will look to right the ship here this evening on a beautiful night from Terre Haute. Zion Brown, Tony Donahue with you. Zion, let's talk about this Rose-Hulman team. You got to be excited to finally hit somebody else that's not one of your teammates and get out and get some competition.
Right, you've got all the competition going in the summer, and finally, you're right, you get to play another team, and it's a good challenge today against this DePauw program. And for Rose-Hulman, the way they ended last season after a 1-4 start, they were able to win 4 of their last 5. So they've got to be feeling good about what they can bring into this season. But you also have to remember, it's a clean slate. The work you do this season is completely different than what happened last year. You have to be ready to compete in 2025.
Yeah, and one of those keys this year is the return of Jay Smith. He's the top returner for the Fighting Engineers in the backfield last season. 271 rushing attempts, 1,297 yards, 16 touchdowns, a school record for rushing yards in a single season. You gotta like what you see out of the backfield with Smith.
Smith got nearly 5 yards a pop last year, and he was just incredible. As you said, first team HCAC. Jay Smith was really unstoppable in a lot of ways, so you really expect the Engineers to lean on him quite a bit in this game to try to defeat DePauw, a team that's coming into the season top 14, top 15 in the nation in D3.
Yeah, in the HCAC preseason polls, Rose-Hulman is ranked 3rd, where they finished last season. This is their first game of the season, first home game, but they won't play again here until Saturday the 4th. They'll go at Trine, at Albion the next 2 weeks. Then they will have a bye week. Antonio Barnes leads the defense, tallying a team-high 70 tackles last season. What do you expect out of this Rose-Hulman defense?
The defense is really more experienced than the offense for Rose-Hulman, I'd say. So I expect them to really be able to fly around and have that good chemistry on the back line. You mentioned Barnes, the safety, kind of the last line of defense a lot of times for this Engineers defense. So I expect him to be a leader. You expect a guy like Marshall Cook, who had nearly 60 tackles last year also, to really lead the way for this Rose-Hulman team. They've got really one guy at each level of the defense that you expect to be one of those leaders, be one of those stalwarts on the defense. Austin Hastings at the line of scrimmage, playing on that on-ball linebacker spot as well.
As the team captains meet at the 50-yard line, we want to thank everybody who makes this happen here on RHIT.TV throughout the entire season. Again, our awesome title sponsors for the fall, we want to thank them. That includes Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local hometown John Deere dealer since 1955 with 5 central Indiana locations. Reynolds meets all of your equipment, parts, and service needs. Boilermakers Local 374, representing skilled workers across Indiana. Discover the Boilermaker advantage at Local 374. Burtner Electric, spark with confidence, your trusted electrical partner since 1986. Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893, thanks to the generosity and the caring individuals out in this world, including you. Morales Group Staffing, building better futures one story at a time. Let us help you find your next opportunity. LifeWise Academy brings Bible education to public school students during school hours. Learn more at lifewise.org. LiUNA, the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages, safer job sites, and greater opportunity. And of course, the IndianaSRN sports page, border to border, coast to coast, your source for high school and college. And we are ready to roll here. First game of the season, Rose-Hulman in their home, all maroon uniforms and silver helmets glistening in the Terre Haute sun on a beautiful evening for football to kick things off here in early September from the beautiful campus of Rose-Hulman. DePauw won the toss. They will kick. They will be in their road white uniforms, black helmets, and black jerseys. We, of course, will see 5 returning HCAC all-conference selections for this Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineer squad. That includes Jay Smith, who we talked about, Ben Klein, Marshall Cook, Wyatt Bell, and Antonio Barnes. As we get ready to kick off, sit back and enjoy some college football, the HCAC level, here on RHIT.TV. Tansley will kick things off. And we are underway. A great crowd on both sides. DePauw about 30 minutes up the road, fielded at the 5-yard line. Passes the 15, looks for a block, and he's hit immediately. And a nice job there on the defense. That goes for Caden Whitehead. That's a name we're going to call a lot here for DePauw defensively. So Rose-Hulman will take over. Colton Nanko, one of the top wide receivers, along with Jacob DeWitt, Bryce Chin, and under center, we will see number 11, Braden Keating from Farmersville, Ohio, the sophomore, making his first career start here for the Fighting Engineers on a 4-wide set. Out of shotgun, 3 in the box for DePauw. Delayed handoff, passes a line of scrimmage, spins out of a tackle, and pushes his way forward for about 4.
You see it automatically with Jay Smith. It's just not a guy you're going to get down by doing an arm tackle. You got to get low, and it's often going to take multiple bodies to get him down. That should have been a 1-yard gain. He turned it into 4 or 5.
Jay Smith, 5'9", 180 yards, out of Evansville, Indiana. The senior, starting his final campaign here at Rose-Hulman. 2nd and 5. They're going to mark it a pickup of 5. Roll out, quick pass, and it's going to be just a tad bit short. And I don't mind coming out here, Zion, and throwing the football with some of the quick hitters, right? Some of the confidence-building passes. But a throw like that, throwing across your body, you want to set those feet and make sure you get it to the wide receiver. That's a first down right there.
Right, and it's a timing play. Bryce Chin out there in the flat just getting out of his break, and you just got to get that timing correct. And that time, TDing the first throw he's thrown here at Rose-Hulman, incomplete.
3rd and 5, DePauw shows blitz. Delayed handoff, Zion has it. And he's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Sorry, Jay Smith there. Here's Zion. He's Jay. You want to get out there? We'll get you some pads.
I'm good. I'm comfy up here.
We'll have some fun. We'll get you down there.
Look, if I had spent the offseason training with them, maybe I'd get out there,
All right.
Tony. But
all right,
no. But that play, you don't pick up the first down on the play before, and then you look at that play, and you get no push on the offensive line for Smith, who had that nice 5-yard gain to start things off.
So Rose-Hulman set the punt on a 3 and out on their first. And this will be Trevor Segudo. Gets a good boot off and takes him back to the 25-yard line. Has some space. Breaks away from a couple defenders, and he's tackled at the 40-yard line. So good field position here for DePauw to start their first possession of the 2025 season. And let's meet the quarterback for the DePauw Tigers, the Crown Point grad, the Robbie Ballantyne.
You're going to look at both Ballantynes. It'll be Scott, the younger brother, at QB, and his number 1 option will be his older brother, Robbie, who had 20 touchdowns through the air last year. That is incredible. Just one of the best receivers in all of Division III.
Both players, obviously brothers, played at Crown Point under head coach Craig Bazia. First run, pickup of about 6. Craig Bazia took Crown Point to the state championship game last year and was the head coach at my alma mater at Portage when I was there. But good to have that chemistry early with the two brothers.
Right, exactly. You've got a new quarterback, and it's great that he's probably been throwing to his number 1 option his whole life, right? You don't have to get that chemistry down really in the way that you would otherwise. So expect to see that 12 to 84 connection quite a bit in this game.
2nd and 4 from the 45-yard line. I formation. Fakes the handoff. Quick screen. Caught. Passes the 45. Gets to the first down marker. We're going to have a flag. Might have been a holding downfield on the wide receiver, number 87. We'll see what the call is here, but looked like possibly.
I don't know how Gabe Adams, the defensive end, did not get a hand on that ball as he squeezed it through to Palmer Samuels. I thought that might have been an interception when I first saw it come out of his hand, but it turned into a completion. However, it'll all be brought back.
Yeah, holding downfield on DePauw. So that first down for Knott, and that'll move them back to about the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or two either way. They're going to mark it right at the 40-yard line. So that happens, right? You're trying to block ahead of your speedy back, but sometimes you just get the hands caught up underneath the pads. That's what happens. Send them back. First penalty of the evening.
Now you're in this 2nd and long situation, after just being in 2nd and medium.
2nd and 9, out of the backfield. Dump off. Whitehead has it, spins, gets to the 45-yard line, gets those yardage back that they gained on first down. But it'll be a 3rd down and 4. And let's take a look at Caden Whitehead, the senior from Indianapolis, Indiana. 929 yards rushing last year, 84 yards per game, 13 touchdowns. The big number there, as you see, 5.7 yards per carry.
Right, and the 929 yards rushing can be a little bit deceiving because he would have been a 1,000-yard rusher had this DePauw team played in more close games. I think a lot of times he wasn't even playing in fourth quarters because of how dominant this Tigers team was a year ago.
Excellent point. 3rd and 4 from the 45. Out of shotgun. Handoff again, and he dives forward past the 50, and it's enough for the first down. They're actually going to mark him short of the 50 with the knee going down. Nonetheless, enough for a first down. Let's look at this DePauw Tiger offense as well. Some of the big guys up front include Bennett Smith, Zach Kerr, and Watkins Kaufman.
Yeah, and Kerr, the center, and Smith, the left guard, really just opened up that hole on that last play to get the first down for Whitehead to keep things moving here for DePauw. These guys will be a big part of what this team does. Both of those guys, Smith and Kerr, were first team All-NCAC.
Quick throw, caught by the tight end at the 40-yard line, keeps the legs moving down to the 30, and that is a pickup enough for the first down, and that was Robbie Ballantyne. The brother-to-brother situation there gets a pickup of about 20.
First time we see Robbie targeted in this game, and it's the expected result, picking up 20 yards and moving into Rose-Hulman territory.
A little less than 4 minutes gone by here. First quarter, DePauw on their first possession, driving the football, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
Now they're moving Robbie Ballantyne around. He's in the slot now near the top of your screen.
I'll go with the pistol formation. Roll out to the right. Comes Ballantyne, throws across his body. Caught, and a great job there to make the tackle for just a short pickup is Austin Hastings, the Noblesville product. It'll be 2nd down and long.
Hastings just such a sure tackler and a guy who spent his first 2 seasons playing on the Rose-Hulman basketball team as well as football. These last couple of years, it's been all football for him, and he's become one of their more reliable guys, the senior defensive end.
Eventually, you got to pick one, right? So 2nd and long, they're going to mark it 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard completion. Ballantyne, Rose-Hulman shows blitz. Delayed handoff, plenty of space, plenty of room, and tackled at about the 15-yard line. So a nice pickup there on 2nd down, enough for the first down.
Carson Johnson on the run that time, just bursting through that hole. While Whitehead is the main running back for DePauw, last year they had kind of a 3-headed monster with Johnson and Mincer combining for another 100 carries, over 100 carries between those number 2 and 3 options as well. So expect to see a little bit of Johnson and Seth Mincer.
Yeah, Johnson runs it for the first down, the junior Indianapolis product, as Caden Whitehead steps back in. 1st down and 10, ball on the 14-yard line. Handoff, shimmy shake, breaks out of 1 tackle, and he's taken down right at the 10. So they're going to mark it for a pickup of 3. And I think you could really open up the playbook here if you're DePauw. Anything at your discretion. You've been able to throw the football. You've been able to run the football on this opening possession.
I'm looking at maybe Leighton Lukowski here, big 6'3" target who I don't think we've seen targeted yet today, but you get in these red zone situations, you want to find your tallest guy, throw him a jump ball. So it looks like he'll be lining up at the bottom of the screen, and he might have one-on-one coverage on that side against Jackson DeVoe.
So 2nd and 7, 9 minutes to play first quarter. Shotgun snap, Ballantyne hands it off, and he stopped almost immediately. Mark him down at the 8-yard line, a pickup of 3, so a 3rd down and 4 here for DePauw.
Yeah, after that play, I expect maybe another handoff here or potentially some sort of fake where you can get the quarterback, Ballantyne, rolling out toward his right side, but definitely may not be a shot at the end zone this time, just trying to move those chains, get into a 1st and goal situation.
Yeah, I think if you're running here, you run it up the middle, you're more than likely, what you've seen, to be able to pick up the 4 yards that you need on back-to-back runs here. Maybe a rollout, Ballantyne to Ballantyne, as we see one-on-one coverage top of your screen with his brother. Shotgun snap, Scott Ballantyne hands it off. Whitehead, he's into the end zone with a touchdown. DePauw strikes first on an 8-yard run, and it's 6-0 in favor of the Tigers.
There we go, Tony. We were expecting another run for Whitehead, and we got it. No need to complicate things when you've been getting 3 to 4 yards at least every time. Just do it again one more time to pick up the first down, and Whitehead was able to do more than that.
Brett Dietz, the head coach of DePauw, 41-7, and he balanced that offensive drive, both rushing and through the air. Extra point pending. It is off the post, no good. 6-0 in favor of DePauw right here on RHIT.TV.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Back here on RHIT.TV, we always have a front row seat. It's a 10-play, 61-yard drive capped off by a Whitehead 8-yard touchdown run. Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you. A balanced attack on that 10-play drive, Zion.
Yeah, it sure was. They showed that they can get yards through the air, right? We saw the big play to Ballantyne. And they also showed the offensive line and Caden Whitehead and Carson Johnson both getting carries and just really moving that Rose-Hulman front back to be able to get into the end zone.
DePauw did miss the extra point off the post, so it is 6-0 in favor of the Tigers. Here is the ensuing kick, the second return of the night for Rose-Hulman. Fielded at the 5, passes the 20, and gets out to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look back at that 8-yard touchdown run here on the Reynolds Farm Equipment replay. Reynolds Farm Equipment, a leading equipment dealer serving farmers, homeowners, landscapers, and commercial contractors throughout Indiana. Nothing runs like a deer. 317-849-0810. And just plenty of space there opened up from the offensive line.
Yeah, and you just see Will Castor, the tight end, coming over, blocking off that edge well, and then Mark Ortiz as well laying down a nice block. I think DePauw put 6 linemen in on that play just to pick it up and get the touchdown.
So Rose-Hulman looking for their first score of the season. Quarterback keeper in the backfield, passes the line of scrimmage, keeps the feet moving for a pickup of 3 on first down. And that comes from Jay Smith taking the direct snap. Let's take a look at the offensive line here for Rose-Hulman. Colton Nanko, the wide receiver. But we look at the big guys up front, Casey McQueen, John Avalon, and Layden Cahoon, as well as Lane Fowler. Some big guys up there making these holes for Jay Smith, who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Keeper from the backfield once again by Jay Smith. And Jay Smith moves forward for about 3 yards, so it'll be a 3rd down and 4 coming up here as we see DePaul's defense, including Joe Ficco, Luke Moody, and Aaron Wagner.
Got to watch out for Luke Nolan on the defensive edge. He had 10.5 sacks last season, so you know, especially on 3rd and long situations, which just isn't, but just in general when you get in those obvious passing downs, Luke Nolan is coming off that edge and looking to get the quarterback. But see, these last 2 plays, it's been this wildcat with Jay Smith, and it's worked decently for Rose-Hulman thus far.
Luke Moody not playing tonight for the Tigers of DePauw, who come with a big stop here on 3rd and 4. They push the pile back for a loss. 4th and 5. I don't think you think about going for it here. And Rose-Hulman will be forced to punt again on their 2nd consecutive 3-and-out.
Yeah, with Rose-Hulman, I think early on in the game and first game of the season, you got to try to build some trust and confidence into your quarterback. I don't mind throwing in a Jay Smith wildcat formation here and there, but to almost make it the standard and what they're doing on every play in that drive, I think you got to mix it up a little bit more than that.
Here's a boot, a good one, and it'll be fair caught at the 35-yard line. That's where DePauw will start their 2nd drive of the first quarter with 6:15 to go. And you have to like what DePauw did offensively on that first drive. A great mix of passing and throwing the football.
Sure was. 6 runs, 4 passes on that drive. All 4 passes were completed for a total of 33 yards for Scott Ballantyne. So once again, just trying to make it a little bit easy on him and just using that offensive line to their advantage.
Beatty Insurance Company, which understands your industry and what's on the line for you. Give our friend Lance a call, 812-522-5640. From the 35-yard line comes DePauw, holding on to a 6-0 advantage, 6:15 to go first quarter. Delayed handoff, met in the backfield, grabbed immediately, and a pickup of about 1, but a nice job there coming in on the tackle. That was number 34, Gabe Adams, and you mentioned him in the pregame. We're going to call his name a lot tonight. He's the anchor to this defense.
Yeah, Adams really nice on that defensive edge, and we saw it that time. Aware of the play, able to shed a block, and to just wrap up Caden Whitehead before he could go anywhere, just gaining the yard.
So 2nd and 9, give him a +1. So we wind the play clock halfway through this first quarter. 6 minutes to go. Out of shotgun. Handoff. Whitehead passes the 40. Doesn't quite get to the first down, but it'll set up a 3rd down and short here for the Tigers.
There we saw Antonio Barnes making a huge tackle. Whitehead would have gotten the first down and probably gotten into Rose-Hulman territory without it. So Barnes from that safety spot we mentioned in pregame, making a big play, and now Rose-Hulman has a chance to get off the field. It is 3rd and short. And again, I wouldn't expect anything but a Whitehead run in this scenario.
Caden Whitehead, the Park Tudor product in the backfield. Lines up next to his quarterback, Ballantyne. 3 wide receivers set. Snap, quick throw, caught. Rose-Hulman ensuing. He barely gets past that first down marker, spins out of bounds at about the 48. They needed 3, they got 5 on the pitch and catch. It is collected enough for a first down, and that catch from DePauw goes to Palmer Samuels.
Yeah, Samuels on that catch, for some reason, caught the ball, had a lot of space in front of him, started going east to west instead of north to south. Looked like for a moment he may not even pick up the first down, but still with all that space he had, great blocking outside as well, to be able to get him forward and propel him for the first down.
Kind of slow moving there, right?
Yeah.
Looked like he had plenty of space, but Rose-Hulman was there to make the initial hit. Enough for a first down. They'll throw it here on 1st and 10 to Paul. Ballantyne will keep it. Spins out of what would be a sack to get a gain of 1, but a nice pursuit there defensively for Rose-Hulman.
Really good job just collapsing in that pocket. That might be the best push. Definitely on a pass play we've seen Rose-Hulman get today, just being able to really sink that offensive line in and cause some havoc. And just a nice job by Ballantyne, too, though, just to get that 1 yard that he's able to get. Looked like that was going to be a surefire sack.
Shryock with the tackle. They're going to mark him a pickup of 1. It's 2nd down and 9.
Can they come
under
again?
Pressure. Flag on the play. Past the 50. Gets a big block. And right to the sticks, enough for a first down. But we'll see what the penalty marker is here on the far side. I believe it'll be an offsides.
That's usually what it is when it's all the way over there to start the play. Again, Ballantyne just getting out of pressure in a way that didn't seem possible at the beginning of the play, but it is going to be offside.
On the defense, number 99 for Rose-Hulman. So Gavin Gross jumps, and that'll move the sticks even further. Boilermakers Local 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in the fields of construction and metal fabrication across Indiana. Whether it's a new build, upgrade, or facility maintenance, you can count on Local 374 to get the job done right the first time. So 1st and 10, moving to the 44. And Ballantyne will look to throw. Plenty of time. Steps up, fires it deep. Jump ball, batted down, incomplete. They go for it on first down. They go for the long ball. And a nice job there from Rose-Hulman to bat that thing down for an incompletion.
He had his brother Robbie Ballantyne running the post here, covered well initially by Rose-Hulman, and just able to get his right paw on that was Wyatt Bell to knock it away. I think Bell initially was going to go for an interception, kind of lost his footing and had the wherewithal to, instead of trying to jump up and grab it, just being able to swat it down and cause the incompletion.
So great job there by Bell to bat that one down. Today's broadcast is the copyright production of the HCAC and RHIT.TV and IndianaSRN. Any use of audio or video without express written permission is strictly prohibited. Screen pass past the 40, stiff arms to the 35, and pushed out at the 32-yard line is Frankie Riccardi on the second down. And it'll be enough for a first down. Move the chains once again. And what we saw on that first possession, Zion, was a great balance of running and passing. We're seeing that here for DePauw on their second possession.
And then, man, Frankie Riccardi on that play, hitting the B button and the A button at the same time. Just stiff arm plus a spin move to get forward for that first down. That's exactly what you want to see after the catch from your 5'8 receiver.
So 1st and 10 from the 34. Almost, Zion, a copy and paste of that first drive, which ended in points for DePauw. First down handoff. Right side, plenty of space. A boost out of the backfield. Enough for a first down and a pickup of 14 yards for DePauw, and a nice boost there from Carson Johnson.
It's such a blessing, right, when you have somebody like Johnson who, from what we've seen at least today, looks like he could probably start in a lot of places, and you're able to bring him in with fresh legs in situations like that, and you just see the way he explodes through the hole. Now we're going to see our third running back of the day in the backfield in Seth Mincer.
Yep, Mincer checks in. Got to keep Johnson fresh. He's got that boost out of the backfield. Mincer has it. He's met immediately and tackled at the line of scrimmage, and a great job there. It looked like it was Austin Hastings in there, the Noblesville product, to make the tackle.
Very strong tackle. Just wrapped him up and said, you're not going anywhere, bud. Just like a bear hug to bring him down right around the line of scrimmage, just barely getting the yard there for the Tigers.
Welcome into the 2025 season. Yeah. I'm gonna first play that you're gonna check in, I'm gonna hit you and move you back. So it'll be a 2nd down and 9 from the 19, under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Valentine, shotgun, 2 wide receivers. It's going to be a sweep, and maybe got past the line of scrimmage before being knocked out of bounds. We'll see where they mark it, probably right at the 15-yard line. So no gain there. It'll be a 3rd down and 5.
Again, we see them just trying to get the ball to Frankie Riccardi in some sort of space like we saw earlier on this drive. Definitely probably their shiftiest receiver. Obviously, Robbie Ballantyne is the #1 guy, but Riccardi in space seems to be the guy they want to get the ball to.
Logan Schaffner will now check in, also a Noblesville product. He's in the backfield. They're jammed in the box. One-on-one coverage, top of your screen. Roll out, Ballantyne looks, under pressure, hit as he throws, caught, but it looks like he's out of bounds. And they're going to call it a touchdown. I thought from here when he caught it, it was out of bounds. We'll have to wait and see. They called it a touchdown. Referee right on top of it. Great pitch and catch there on the rollout. Keeps his feet in, makes the catch, and hauls it in.
I think Robbie Ballantyne was just able to drag a foot through and score there. What a throw. Off balance, pressure in his face by Scott Ballantyne just to get it to that exact right spot in the corner of the end zone.
So Ballantyne with the pitch and catch to his brother. Drags those feet, stays in bounds, and it's good for a 15-yard touchdown strike. This time extra point is good. 13 straight from DePauw. They lead Rose-Hulman 13-0 on RHIT.TV.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Your business depends on quality, efficiency, and reliability. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we help you stay ahead with John Deere commercial mowers built for performance. Whether you're maintaining parks, businesses, or neighborhood lawns, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. With expert service, flexible financing, and the best lineup of mowers in the industry, Reynolds keeps your operation running strong. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Zion Brown, Tony Donahue with you. A pitch and catch there from the brothers. We're going to get a good look at it here on the replay. It was called a touchdown, and we're going to see one of the best catches. We'll have Jerry Collins, our great producer, cut that, because that's going to be a highlight type of catch. We're going to see it here after this ensuing kickoff. With a minute to go in the first quarter, it's 13-0 DePauw here on RHIT.TV. as the return comes out to about the 23. All right, Zion, break it down for me here.
Scott Valentine just rolling out here. You see the pressure come at him, and he's looking at that corner of the end zone the entire way. Let's see if he got his foot in. Looks like he did.
Oof, got it in and drugged the foot. You only need 1 foot in. He had one.
I mean, what a throw by Scott Valentine. That is, you're not throwing to a man, you're throwing to a spot. That's what they teach these quarterbacks, and to do that in your first college start, very impressive.
Well, and it's good to have that chemistry and know your brother's going to be in there to make that catch for you. So the two Andrean products hooking up there, the brothers. Quick dump off, batted around, and it's going to be incomplete. So the rush there from DePauw gets to the backfield, and that ball falls incomplete. Head coach of your Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers is Jeff Zokol in his 15th season, 89-48 overall. Jeff Zokol talked to him before the game, said, look, we've had a great week of practice. We're ready to get out there and compete against somebody that isn't wearing the same color jersey. Second down, shotgun throw across the middle. Nice little pitch and catch. Passes the 30-yard line to the 31. That'll bring up a third down and short for Rose-Hulman. Great protection there by the offensive line.
Very nice pitch and catch. First completion of the day for Braden Keating, just finding his tight end Klein and putting yourself in a third and manageable here.
So third and short. You don't want to go 3 and out once again here. They've done that on their first 3 possessions. Quick pass, caught at the 35, and it's enough for the first down. So for the first time tonight, Rose-Hulman will move the chains, and that will do it for the first quarter. DePauw scores on both of their possessions here in the first quarter. They miss the first extra point, and they find themselves with a 13-0 lead here on RHIT.TV.
IndianaSRN wants to put more kids on TV. And honestly, that's exactly what these kids deserve. They stream more than 350 high school and college games every year, giving Indiana athletes the spotlight they've earned. All games are free to watch with On Demand on their YouTube channel. The cost is amazingly affordable, which means more kids get their moment to shine. IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Piper Logistics, for more than 2 decades, the seasoned professionals at Piper Logistics have been the trusted partners for inventory management, warehousing, fulfillment, and transportation. Ride with us, 317-396-1023. Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you through 1 quarter of play. DePauw 13-0, but it feels like early in this possession for Rose-Hulman, they're starting to find a rhythm in that passing game.
They sure are. 2 completions now for Braden Keating after he was 0 of 2 through the air before this drive. And again, I want to see Rose-Hulman stick with Keating instead of immediately kind of running that Wildcat as their base. Of course, short yardage situations, I love giving the ball to Smith.
Keating will hand it off here, met right at the line of scrimmage. In fact, doesn't even, they will mark forward progress. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. And let's look at Jay Smith, the senior Evansville product, one of the best running backs Rose-Hulman has seen in a long time. He rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, just shy of 1,300.
Jay Smith, very, very good at just staying up. Great balance for a running back. He's good at just finding those holes and getting forward throughout the plays. And they're going to still need to rely on him. Obviously, you're down 2 touchdowns now, but that doesn't mean you have to abandon the run.
Quick throw, wide open, caught to the 50-yard line for a first down. So a nice, patient throw there. Ben Klein from El Paso, Illinois, the senior tight end, makes the catch, move the sticks.
Tight end is a young quarterback's best friend. Klein just had 7 receptions last year. Really used as a blocker more. Already 2 on this drive, so he's almost a third of the way there to what he did a season ago through the air.
15 yards on the pass. And they'll hand it off here, and met immediately for a loss of 2 is Jay Smith. So it'll be 2nd down and long, but 3 for 3 on this drive through the air.
Yep, 2 to Klein, 1 to Bryce Chin. They're just making it easier, I would say, on Braden Keating to make these throws. That time you saw it off the play action. Klein just snuck out of the backfield and found some space. And these last 2 first down runs for Jay Smith have not gone anywhere. So you expect a situation where Rose-Hulman may have to pass again here.
We see 4 in the box here for DePauw. Smith on the handoff tries to get some space, and he maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage no more. 3rd down and long coming up for the Fighting Engineers.
Yeah, they tried to take advantage of an aggressive DePauw defense, put that one on the edge on a bit of a stretch play, but DePauw stayed in their gap, stayed home, and were able to make the tackle after just a yard, like you said, getting back to that original line of scrimmage.
2 minutes gone by here, 2nd quarter. Rose-Hulman looking to get into plus territory for the first time this evening. Shotgun snap. Keaton looks, fires it up for grabs, and it's overthrown, incomplete, and a crash into the kicking net. And they went for it, but it was double coverage down the side. Ball overthrown, and Rose-Hulman will be forced to punt.
Nope. There's going to be a flag here.
Yeah.
He was held on his route, DeWitt. I couldn't tell who the corner was, but he got all of the shoulder part of the jersey of DeWitt, and that's an easy pass interference call.
So pass interference. I'm sorry, I didn't see it here. It was blocked on my end, but you take those chains moving any way you can get them.
For sure, and that's what they wanted. When you get that one-on-one coverage, you have to make the defender make a great play, and the defense was unable to do so without really grabbing and committing an obvious flag.
Yeah, first penalty of the evening for DePauw, and it comes on a 3rd down and long. So the football will be placed at the 36-yard line. Man in motion, 1st and 10. Fakes the handoff, quick screen. Caught off of the turf, passes the line of scrimmage, cuts back, spins it up for the 1st down, and the screen play goes for 11. And it's Ben Klein once again moving the sticks for Rose-Hulman.
Getting Klein involved seems to be quite the emphasis here for the Engineers. 3 catches on this drive. And we see life for this Engineers offense for the first time today.
Braden Keating, you give him some props there. Stayed in the pocket, took the hit. Got the football off in time for the 1st down. Quick run here for a pickup of 2. Dynamark Graphics Group. Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for print signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indy for over 50 years, Dynamark builds strong relationships through exceptional service. Call us today, 317-328-2555. 2nd down, yes, 1st down. No, it should be 1st down. They'll look for it, throws it back. Oh, up for grabs, hit hard, and that'll fall incomplete. So kind of hung your wide receiver up for grabs there, and the ball falls incomplete.
Timing is everything on a play like that. Kind of a bit of a trouble with the snap with Keating. Didn't lose it by any means, but didn't really catch it cleanly in on a screen pass. That can make a world of difference. Then you throw the ball high and you put your receiver out there left to dry. Colton Nenko just got drilled as the ball got to his hands.
Threw the timing off just a bit. So on the pass, it was enough for 9 yards, and then the run for 1 yard, pick up the 1st down. So that's how we have arrived here at 2nd and 10, 11:40 to go. Shotgun snap, 2 wide receivers set to the left. Handoff, Smith met at the line of scrimmage and tries to break out of it, but from behind, tackled for a loss. And the tackle there for DePauw credited to Nehemiah DIII from Indianapolis, Ben Davis. You ever been there?
Once or twice, Tony. But no, good to see tackle made by Nehemiah Dow, just getting back there into the backfield. Now it's an obvious passing down. You need your protection to hold up enough to find an open receiver on 3rd and 10.
Zion Brown, the Ben Davis grad. 3rd and 10. Steps up under pressure. Keating fires, try to get some separation, but the ball falls incomplete. So you're kind of in that no man's land, right? It's going to be a long field goal from here, 42 yards. 4th and 10 seems like a bit to go for here. Put your hat on. You're gonna kick this thing and try to put 3 on the board?
Looks like they are. Trevor Segudo in his first year as the starting kicker. We'll get to see what he's got. But that was a beautiful stunt on the defensive line on that last play for DePauw. You saw Nehemiah Dow again. He was coming from the edge, curled inside on the stunt. Him and Dominic Siebel switched spots, was able to flush Keaton out of the pocket and force the incompletion.
So a 42-yard attempt. Good snap. Good hold. And that one is no good. It looks like it fell just short on the 42-yard attempt. So the first drive of the evening into plus territory for Rose-Hulman. DePauw keeps them off of the scoreboard on the missed field goal, and with 10:58 to go, trailing 13-0, Rose-Hulman's defense will have to go back out onto the field.
And Tony, you think back to the third down play. If they're able to complete that for 6 yards, the field goal is 6 yards shorter, and it probably gets there, right? It's these small margins that can really make all the difference. That was probably a play that cost them 3 points just by not being able to pick up even a few yards on 3rd and 10.
I guess the double side of the coin here is your defense got a little bit more of a rest than they had gotten on your first 3 possessions, and with you in 3 and out if you're Rose-Hulman. So a good drive there ends with no points for the Fighting Engineers, and DePauw will have the football at the 25-yard line. Their first possession here of the second quarter, 10:58 to play. The Tigers with a 13-0 advantage. Man in motion. Valentine awaits the snap. Handoff. Shakes out of one. Lowers his shoulder past the 30-yard line, and Whitehead gets it out to the 31.
Talked about getting a rest. Whitehead was not even the main back for much of that last DePauw offensive drive, so he should be pretty rested. And then he was, of course, the whole offense was on the bench for a while, so expect to see a healthy dose of Whitehead here on this drive for the Tigers.
Yep, he stays in. 3 wide receivers set. Litton Lukowski, who we haven't called his name too much here this evening, lined up, short side of the screen, up top. 2 wide receiver look. Fakes the handoff. Quick screen out of the backfield. Ballantyne catches it. He's hit hard at about the 45-yard line. They're going to mark his progress out of bounds at the 44. That is enough for a first down on the 13-yard screen pass, brother to brother.
They just find ways to get Ballantyne the ball. We've seen them throw posts toward him. We've seen the deep out route that was a touchdown. We've seen a comeback route, right? He just has the whole tree kind of in his arsenal in that time. Just getting out into the flat for the first down.
1st and 10 from the 43. They'll go to throw. Ballantyne steps up, plenty of pressure. Looks deep. He's got his brother open, and he catches it at the 15-yard line. A big-time throw and catch there. DePauw inside the red zone.
Tony, it's so simple. There was no second read on that play. Scott Ballantyne was staring down Robbie Ballantyne the entire time.
We had a helmet come off, so just like a lineman had to check out of the game here, but a huge pitch and catch all the way down to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, just a great play. 38 yards on the reception. And again here, I don't think that'll be the last time we could see Ballantyne targeted here.
And you and I talked about in the outset, the quarterback rating, 9 of 10 for 110 yards, and that long of 38 right there. In fact, this is showing a QB rating of 215.4.
It's been extremely efficient through the air for Scott Ballantyne thus far.
I don't care what level of football you're playing, Pop Warner, college, high school, the NFL. You'll take that any day of the week. 9 of 10 here in this first half for 110 yards is Ballantyne, and most of them came to his brother. He has 4 receptions for 85 yards and a touchdown, and that long of 38. Man in the backfield now is Schaffner. He'll have it, tries to get the edge, does, keeps his footing, and he's tackled just short of the 5-yard line at the 6. So a pickup of 7, enough to move the sticks. 1st and goal for DePauw.
DePauw's just got everything going right now. Multiple running backs doing it through the pass game, and they are 6 yards away from another touchdown.
8:03 to play, first half. Fighting Engineers looking for a turnover, or at least to hold DePauw to 3 to keep us a 1 or 2 possession game. Under pressure, Ballantyne decides to keep it, scrambles, he's hit right at the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal coming up from the 3. Thought about it, looked at his 2nd and 3rd reads, and ends up taking it himself for a pickup of 3. So 2nd and goal from the 3. Risk work We make people feel safe. We protect your business. You live safe, we've got you covered. Call Risk Work today, 317-379-6755. Stacked up in the box here. Valentine, handoff, and stuffed immediately and pushed back. Great pressure there from Rose-Hulman. It'll be a 3rd down and goal. And we'll see what they decide to do here. But a nice job there by Rose-Hulman, pushing the pile back for no gain.
Looked like Gavin Groh was the initial disruptor right up the middle out of that defensive tackle spot. And he's able to bring it to 3rd down. Let's see if DePauw decides to keep it on the ground or if they do look to air it out here and maybe go toward Valentine for another touchdown.
I think it's 3-down territory, right? Your defense has proven they're not going to give up anything. To go up 20-0, knowing that you get the football to start the second half. The Tigers thinking 6 here, and they'll get it on a delayed handoff up the middle. Caden Whitehead takes the initial hit and flops forward and is into the end zone for the touchdown.
2nd touchdown of the day now for Whitehead.
We got an injury on the play, it looks like.
That's the left tackle, Nick Ruiz. But Whitehead doing a great job just finding that end zone.
We'll take a break. 19-0 DePauw with the extra point pending here on RHIT.TV.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines?
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
DePauw scores for the 3rd time here in the first half on RHIT.TV. And after that initial hit, just keeps the legs churning, and Whitehead into the end zone for the 3-yard touchdown run here.
You see him just strong legs, lower body, and finding his way in. Nick Ruiz walking off the field with assistance. We hope that he's eventually all right. The left tackle for this DePauw team coming off with the injury.
6:18 to play, first half, and a first half so far dominated by DePauw. They're going to go up 20-0. The chance of wide right after missing that first extra point for Matthew Berry, the Jacksonville, Florida native. We're going to have a false start, so move it back. Move the extra point back. You don't want to see that special teams-wise, Zion, but I think that's a lot of just the first game of the year. There's some jitters. You're on special teams. This might be the only time you get out there, and you jump a little early.
Yeah, I think it's someone on the right side of that line was jumping in. Makes the extra point a little bit harder, but I think some kickers would argue this gives you more space on that extra point as well.
There is no doubt. Barry lines it up. Good snap, good hold. And it is true. 20-0 DePauw with 6:18 to play in the first half. Let's take a look at Nanko here, and you know, when you look at this first half, dominated by the offense for DePauw, but the defense of Rose-Hulman. If we look at Colton Nanko here, one of the best players you'll see wide receiver-wise on this Rose-Hulman squad. Nanko's the guy they got to get going here. You've got 6:18 to go to put up points before you get to halftime.
I think Nanko's only been targeted once in this game. It was that screenplay that was just off from the start where he got drilled going up in the air for the ball. They've got to find ways to get the ball in his hands, and that screenplay was an attempt to do that, right? It just did not work, but you still have to find a way to get it to your best receiver, your best returning receiver for this Rose-Hulman team. He's the guy with the most returning production out wide with over 500 yards last season.
Laborers International Union of North America, LIUNA. We're the Build America Union, 500,000 strong, fighting for better wages and benefits, safer job sites, and greater opportunities. We are LIUNA. We appreciate their sponsorship here of RHIT.TV, Rose-Hulman football, as well as our high school coverage on IndianaSRN. Great group of gents on hand here from IndianaSRN and RHIT.TV. Chance, Jerry, Troy, Zion, and myself, Tony Donahue, with you here on a beautiful evening from Terre Haute. And a first half owned by DePauw. They lead it 20-0 on the ensuing kickoff. Fielded from the 5, tries to go right, cuts back, hit immediately, and he's taken down at the 20-yard line. All right, Jeff Sokol's group saw a little bit of progress on that last possession where they were able to move the sticks via the air. What do you want to see here over the 6:14 left in this first half from Rose-Hulman's offense?
You just got to open up. We saw a nice last drive for the Fighting Engineers. It just ended poorly on the missed field goal. But a similar drive like that, you got plenty of time on the clock, 6 minutes, so the whole playbook is open to you. It's not like you have to throw the ball. So just being able to move the line of scrimmage and get down the field, and this time turning that into points instead of the missed field goal, as we'll see this Wildcat formation again.
Here is the Wildcat, and met almost immediately. They're going to give him progress for 2 yards. So a 2nd down and 8 coming up.
So we just talked about Colton Nenko, first play of this drive. They get it out to him on the jet sweep out of that Wildcat formation. So you could tell they want to get him involved. This coaching staff probably realized the same thing we said. Like, hey, he doesn't have a catch today or anything, so that's not a catch. It'll go down as a rush, but still finding a way to get Nenko the ball. And you see Jay Smith staying in as that Wildcat quarterback. Not sure what his throwing capabilities are, but if you're DePauw, you're definitely playing the run here all the way.
Yeah, and if you're Rose-Hulman, you certainly don't want to go 3 and out once again and give the football back to DePauw with 4+ minutes on the clock to be able to go down and make this a 27-point game.
I mean, look at how tight in that box DePauw is right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's relatively obvious when you're in the backfield with your best runner what he's going to do with the football, and Jay Smith. And although Jay Smith is one of the best running backs that Rose-Hulman has seen, when he's the only guy in the backfield, you're going to stack the box like that, and it's hard to move forward for positive gains. 3rd and 7 coming up here. 5 minutes to play first half.
And now they bring Keating out in this obvious passing down, but when you're not out there the first 2 plays, and at this point you know you're probably going to have to pass if you're Rose-Hulman. It'll be tough for Keating to maybe find an open window, but let's see what he's able to do with the play call.
Keating has it, fakes the handoff, steps up, tries to scramble out of a sack, and he's going to go down at the 12-yard line. And a great push there by DePauw leads to the sack. Give it to Nathan Creed, the linebacker, on the push. He takes care of Keating, and it'll be a punt here on 4th and 17 from the 13-yard line.
That's one of those coverage sacks. The initial protection was there, but nobody was open for Keating, and then on kind of a second effort, Creed was able to get by the line and come up with the sack. Great job in the defensive backfield for DePauw.
So the punt will come from the end zone. Good snap. Almost blocked, but a good boot will bounce at the 45-yard line. Scooped up at the 50 and out of bounds to the 42-yard line. So DePauw will start this next possession in plus territory. 3 timeouts on the board for the Tigers and 4:01 to play with to finish this half, knowing they're going to get the football to start the second half. How do you play this final 4 minutes of the first half?
If you're DePauw right now, I feel like the clock isn't even really in your thought process, right? You've only got 44 yards to get here. 4 minutes is plenty of time to get there. It's just call whatever play you want to and whatever plays you feel like will be most effective for you. I don't think they really have to consider the clock too heavily here on this drive. It's just about moving the ball downfield however you can.
So 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Shotgun snap. They'll go to the air on 1st down. Plenty of time. Goes across the body and incomplete. Falling to the ground to make the grab was Frankie Riccardi. But I think when he had that football on his fingertips, the momentum when he hit the ground forces the incompletion. 2nd down and 10.
That's exactly what happened, Tony. He had it at first. It looked like he was maybe going to make that sliding catch with his knees dragging down inbounds, but once his arms made contact with the turf, that ball popped out incomplete.
2nd down, back out of shotgun. Valentine hands it off. Whitehead passes the line of scrimmage. So give him a gain of 4. So it'll be a 3rd down and 6 for DePauw.
This may be 4-down territory. Wouldn't be surprised to see another run here to set up a 4th and short.
Yeah, I think you see what you get here on 3rd down. You're obviously kind of in that no man's land. If you don't pick up any yards, you would more than likely look at going for it, knowing that, you know, regardless of where Rose-Hulman has gotten the football at to start a possession, the defense of the Tigers has been able to stop it. So 3rd and 7. They'll need to get to the 36. Under pressure, gets it off in time. Caught at the 40. Pushes forward. It's going to be close. We'll see will they mark it here. Will it be enough for the 1st down? It's going to be very close, Zion.
I think he'll be about a yard short. You got to get to that 34. He's out. They roll him down at the 35. But very impressed by Scott Valentine because every time there's been pressure, he has still found an open man time after time. And that time he almost got a 1st down.
Yeah, he felt that backside pressure. There's no doubt about that. Got that ball out in time, just short of the 1st down. But we're going to go for it here. On 4th down, DePauw. 4th and 1. Handoff, 1st down, Whitehead and more. Passes the 30, 20, 10, 5, 4th and 1. Touchdown DePauw. 35 yards, relatively untouched. Got past that first initial push and into the end zone. 26-0. DePauw with 2:22 to play.
4th and 1s, you always have to watch for those breakthrough run plays because you know the linebackers are going to be playing the run so heavily that once you're able to get past them, if your line holds up, there's going to be so much open space, and that's exactly what happened there. Whitehead broke through, got through the middle of the field, and scored.
So Whitehead on the touchdown, his 2nd of this 1st half. Extra point from Barry is good. A 4th and 1 run goes for a touchdown, and it's all DePauw on RHIT.TV. They lead 27-0.
At Riskwork, we're Team Indiana through and through, from coaching youth basketball to protecting critical infrastructure. Like our partners at IndianaSRN, we invest in people first. That same grit and leadership on the court drives our work in cybersecurity. We help businesses stay secure, resilient, and ready with no guesswork. If you can trust us to protect the grid, you can surely trust us to protect your Indiana business.
It's game day, a time to focus on the excitement and not to worry about your insurance coverage. With Indiana Farmers Insurance by your side, you can step onto the field or into the bleachers with true peace of mind, knowing your coverage is handled by local agents who care about your business, your auto, your home, and your farm as much as you do. Local insurance, local agents, here for you. Now that's what we call teamwork.
A 3rd and 1 goes for 35 yards and a touchdown as we get a good look here of the DePauw crowd making the short trip over here to Terre Haute on the campus of Rose-Hulman. And they have to like what they've seen out of their Tigers. 27 unanswered. They lead at 27-0 here in RHIT.TV. Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you. Kickoff in the air. It'll be fielded right at about the 5-yard line. Let's see if Rose-Hulman can get a little bit of a spark here from the ensuing kickoff. They get it past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And Zion, I think the last thing you want to do here is go 3 and out and leave any time on the board left for DePauw to put up more points in this 2nd half. But a 3rd and 1, relatively untouched all the way to the end zone.
Like I said, you see the linebackers just crashing in. Whitehead was able to scoot toward his left side and then cut it back middle where there was no one in the area to tackle him, his 3rd touchdown run of the game. Well, yeah, this has to be about picking up just a 1st down for Rose-Hulman here. You pick up 1 1st down, you feel like that limits any chance DePauw would have to score again here in the 1st half at the very least.
Keating out of shotgun, pump fake, doesn't throw it, tries to squeeze out of it, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. The sack there for about 3 yards back to the 20-yard line.
Palmer Samuels was the read out of the backfield, and Keating just didn't feel like he had the arm angle to get it there with those defensive linemen being there. As we get to the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout of the 1st half. We'll take it with them. All DePauw 27-0.
This is LifeWise Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
During Army basic training, I found out I had 7 herniated discs. Prescription pain medication led me to a heroin addiction. I entered Wheeler's program and learned life on God's terms.
After meeting Greg, I was so impressed, I hired him. When you change that one life, it makes it all worthwhile.
Now, I have a family, house, and a job that I love. At Wheeler, you can have something everlasting.
Here we go. Rose-Hulman on the screen pass, stuffed immediately, and it is a third down play.
That's a
coming up.
Tariq Jimo Oyishigi. I hope I said that correctly, but just the middle linebacker coming in and blowing up the screen. Kind of surprised that DePauw is not using a timeout here now that it's 3rd and long. That clock is dwindling, and Rose-Hulman making the right choice, letting it just wind down, taking as long as they can before running this play.
Yeah, 3rd and 18, still 10 seconds on the play clock. They run a misdirection here, and it doesn't fool DePauw, and it's another loss. We'll see if they decide to take a timeout here.
Doesn't appear like they want to.
And they won't. Oh, now they will.
We jinxed it. We jinxed it, Tony.
So 1:13 to go. DePauw says, we want that football back. We want to put more points on the board before we reach halftime. 27-0 DePauw as Rose-Hulman, for the 5th time in 7 possessions in this first half, will go 3 and out. So 1:13 to go. And I think if you're DePauw, your first opportunity of the season to run a 2-minute drill with 1:13 to go.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out is that DePauw almost got to that last punt over on this side of the field as far as being able to get a hand on it to block it. So we got to watch out for that. If you're Rose-Hulman, that is paramount right now, just making sure you're holding off those guys coming toward the punt. But like you said, you get a chance to run a 2-minute drive. As good as Braden Keating has been so far, you want him in every situation. We've seen him look very poised, the sophomore, in his first start today. And so now it looks like he'll have a chance to put up at least maybe 3 more points on the board. In net, that also might be another thing. You may be able to test the leg of Trevor Segudo here for the first time. He's not the guy who was their starting kicker a season ago, so now getting the chance to do so here in a 27-0 ball game could help.
And for the second time, a punt from his own end zone. We'll see if DePauw brings the blitz. Good snap, good boot. He's going to go off the side of his foot, bounce at the 40, take a DePauw bounce all the way back to the 35. So that one was kicked off the laces, which led to the awkward bounce in favor of DePauw.
Rose-Hulman is arguing that hit a DePauw player. I don't think it did. We were kind of shielded from where we're at, Tony, and now we will have a zebra conference to maybe figure it out, but it doesn't look like they're going to change anything.
Yeah, I think it was just an awkwardly kicked ball off the laces. And,
the replay does look like the ball kind of takes a different path after hitting the 40-yard line, but it's just so hard to see from our angle, our viewpoint.
And let's see what Jeff Sokol's coaching up his team. It's hard to tell. That's one of those that the call on the field is more than likely going to stand, whether it was called off of a DePauw player or not, and it wasn't, and that's why it stands. So from the 35-yard line, 1:03 to go, all 3 timeouts for DePauw. Quarterback keeper the entire way. Slides past the 30. They're going to mark him actually just short of the 30 at the 31-yard line. Valentine's going to go quickly here. 53 seconds to go. They have 2 timeouts, does DePauw. Quick slant pass, caught. The 25 breaks out of a tackle. The 20 down to the 10, pushed out of bounds. So a pickup there of about 21 yards, and you get out of bounds to save that timeout with 39 seconds to play.
What a catch and then a move by Leighton Lukowski, who we were wondering when he was going to kind of get targeted. We see it for the first time there.
39 seconds to play. Try to get Rose-Hulman to jump there. Plenty of time. 20 on the play clock.
I want to note that Rylan Rock Watkins has been moved to left tackle now for DePauw from the right tackle spot after that injury.
Out of shotgun. Waits, patiently, fires, finds his brother. Valentine tries to get into the end zone, but he's upheld at the 3-yard line. So 25 seconds, a 2nd and 3, and DePauw will take a timeout. We've got another injury on the offensive line for DePauw. And you just mentioned this is the DePauw team that is already down 1 lineman and some rotation.
Right, Nick Ruiz went down earlier. They moved Watkins from right tackle to left tackle, put up Alex Fowler in that right tackle spot, and now this is the starting center, Zach Kerr. So DePauw, about the only thing that's gone wrong for them in this first half is now they're down 2 offensive linemen.
Looks like he might have just got his bell rung. He's walking off gingerly, but doesn't need too much assistance. And let's talk about what maybe isn't talked about a lot. When your center goes out, that timing could possibly go away here. So we'll see with 25 seconds as we see the backup taking some snaps to try to get into rhythm, to try to get that timing down. It'll be Mark Ortiz, the Clareton Hills, Illinois, Hinsdale Central sophomore, will check in number 75 at center.
Ortiz coming from one of those Chicago suburbs, and now he's a new center. And like you said, you got to get that timing right, and especially you're in a 2-minute drive, you can't really have anything go wrong on the snap. It'll derail everything, and so we'll see if Ortiz is able to have these clean exchanges and clean snaps to Valentine, and then maybe at halftime they'll be able to scheme up something complete.
2nd and 2. If I'm Rose-Hulman, I'm bringing a blitz right up the middle. Fade back of the end zone. Valentine to Valentine, but he overthrows it, incomplete. So a 3rd and 2 from the 3 coming up with 20 seconds to go. If you're Rose-Hulman, yeah, you're trailing 27-0. But something to take into the locker room if you can get off the field here, not giving up any points.
For sure, you got to try to hold this and see what you can do to stop this DePauw offense. As you've said multiple times, they get the ball to start the second half, so this could get ugly quick if Rose-Hulman doesn't get the stop here.
3rd and 2, out of shotgun. Valentine hands it off. Met up the middle, and it'll be short of the goal line, but I do believe it'll be enough for a first down. We'll see what they do with the sticks here. Clock runs. So they're going to call it a first down, 1st and goal. Handoff. Stopped, pushed back. Did the football get across the pylon? No. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, and a timeout to DePauw. So the football did not get over the goal line. DePauw will take a timeout. 1 play left in this first half with 2 seconds to go.
Brett Dietz, I don't even know why he was as far back as he was sprinting from around the 30-yard line to get down and to get the timeout call in, the head coach for DePauw, but it took a couple seconds longer than it should have to get that timeout. But they got it, and I think they'll just go for it here. 1 play basically to try to score here in the half.
So they're going to put 5 seconds on the clock, and I think if you're Rose-Hulman, you're going, we stopped them initially, then they get a timeout. Now we stopped them again. Now we've got to do it 1 more time after that. So it was a 3rd down play that got to the sticks for the first down, but not quite into the end zone. There was a 1-yard difference. So you stopped them on 3rd, and you're going, okay, now it's a first down, even though we stopped them from getting into the end zone, and now you're going to have to line up and do it again. I don't think you can get 2 plays off in 5 seconds unless that first play is a quick throw immediately. But I think if you're DePauw, that football is right at the goal line, I think you're going, we're going to hand it off 1 time. If we get it in, we get it in. If not, we're going to the locker room up 27-0.
And so far, they haven't been comfortable going under center. I don't know if that's just a mix of their playbook being just a shotgun pistol playbook and the fact that we just saw Kerr get hurt, the starting center. But let's see if they do it here. It looks like it'll still be in the pistol.
They'll come out of pistol. And Rose-Hulman wanted to see it. Jess Sokol calls a timeout. So again, DePauw will get the football to start the second half. They lead 27-0. They're at the goal line. if I'm a head coach, which obviously I'm not, I'm going under center and just pushing it forward.
Right. It just makes it so much more difficult offensively when you're, like you said, inside the one. In the pistol, your running back is about 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, right? It doesn't feel like it has to be that difficult. And I get it. You probably haven't practiced much under center at all, and especially not with your backup center. But I think it's just much more easier to push that ball in when you're less than half a yard away and you go under center with it.
And trusting that backup center, who may not have the same timing, to snap the football to the quarterback, 3 or 4 yards behind, and hope to gain it forward for the end zone. We say all this, but it's 27-0 DePauw. So,
but these are things. DePauw's a team that wants to compete for a national championship, right? They come into the season ranked 14th. So these are the things, even though they're winning this game by this wide of a margin, these are the things they want to really perfect as they go forward this season.
No timeouts left for DePauw, so this will be it. Unless it's an incompletion, it is first down and goal. So if they throw an incompletion, you might be able to get a second look at it. But more than likely, you keep this football on the ground with Whitehead alone in the backfield. Man in motion. Whitehead will take it. He's stopped. Pushes forward. I think he's short. Time expires in the first half. And Rose-Hulman with a little bit of momentum. A big-time defensive stop there on first down, the last play of the half. And Rose-Hulman will go to the locker room with a little confidence underneath him.
Looks like our guy Austin Hastings was one of the main ones in there for the Fighting Engineers to get the stop. And again, you just make life a little bit more difficult when you're in pistol in that situation. It's a long journey for that running back to get from the backfield to the end zone. They try to get Whitehead through, but he still fell just short of the goal line.
So they really stopped him 3 times there and not allowed DePauw to get into the end zone, despite the fact that it's 27-0. Let's take a replay look at this. And it looked like the initial burst was going to be enough, but the football comes up just shy. And like you said, he's taking this from the 7-yard line.
It's just so hard to get through. Hastings, a great pursuit by him from that linebacker spot. Great wrap-up as well. And Whitehead just could not stretch that ball far enough to get it over the goal line. Great stop by the Engineers.
So Ballantyne, 12 of 15 in that first half for 144 yards and a touchdown strike to his brother, who has 5 catches for 93 yards and that touchdown, a long of 38. DePauw will receive the second half kickoff. They lead at 27-0, but a big-time stop there by the Fighting Engineers defense to give them some momentum heading into the locker room. It's been a back and forth offensively for Rose-Hulman. We've seen 5 drives end on a 3-and-out. We've seen a couple drives get into plus territory. But we're going to see a little bit more in that passing game in the second half, especially down 27-0 from Rose-Hulman.
Yeah, you have to. You have to trust Braden Keating a little bit more here. You know, you got to tell the team, especially the offense, don't think about the scoreboard. We have to find ways to get better as an offense throughout this game. It's one half of football. It's the first week of the season. Let's just find a way to kind of find our offensive identity and find out what will work for us both on the ground and through the air.
We've hit recess here from Rose-Hulman. First game of the season. DePauw has a 27-0 lead over the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers here. Again, as we mentioned, the opening game of the season for Rose-Hulman. The Fighting Engineers ranked 3rd in the preseason polls in the HCAC. And as you mentioned, DePauw ranked 14th with aspirations to make it late into the postseason. And again, we see this play one more time. And you talked about it, even for both teams, even for Rose-Hulman, you're going, okay, how many times are we going to have an opportunity to see what we can do with our backs against the wall like that? So that's definitely a confidence builder. Maybe not too much right now, down 27-0, but the future of this team and the games coming up.
Right, and Hastings not a guy who we expect to see benched or anything at any time of the year, but the coaches watch all 60 minutes, all 4 quarters of film. It doesn't matter what the score is. They're going to realize efforts like that in the film room, and that might be one of the best tackles we see today. That might be the best tackle we see today on either side. So despite the fact that this Rose-Hulman team is down by 27, it's still great to see that effort from your linebacker.
Got a great halftime interview coming up for you. We'll have some first half stats, and we'll get Zion's keys to the second half. The Fighting Engineers trailed DePauw 27-0 at halftime on RHIT.TV.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Academy. It's a program that teaches Bible-based character education to public school students during school hours. Not before school and not after, but during school hours.
So here's how this works. The students will leave this school building, hop on this bus, take a short ride across the street to the church. I can see the steeple from here, have Bible class, hop back on the bus, head back to school. It's that simple.
Go to lifewise.org to find your school.
A great lawn starts with the right equipment. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we're here to help you make mowing easier and more enjoyable. From zero turns to lawn tractors, John Deere mowers give you the power, precision, and comfort to get the job done right. Plus, with expert service and support from Reynolds, you can spend less time worrying about your mower and more time enjoying the results. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Back here from Cook Stadium, it's a 27-0 DePauw lead over Rose-Hulman midway through this game. I'm Zion Brown, now joined by Rose-Hulman head baseball coach Adam Rosen. How's it going, Coach?
Doing great, Zion. Thanks for having me on.
For sure. And obviously we're in the fall baseball season taking place in the spring. Just take it through the audience for those who may not know. What kind of training, what's kind of going on now? You've been back in class for a few weeks for your guys. What is it like at this point in the season, at this point in the calendar, rather, preparing for the season coming up in the spring?
Yeah, we actually just started school here this week. So we've been on campus about a week now. So we'll start practice the middle of September, and we'll go for about 5 or 6 weeks, and that's a mix of like development focused days, some competitive inter-squad days. So that'll get us to about the end of October, and then we'll head into our off season, which is more focused on training, guys getting in the batting cage, getting ready for the season, and then we'll start our preseason practice towards the end of January, getting ready for the start of our season there.
What type of things are you looking to work on at this point in the calendar? Obviously, you said it, not completely into full things, not into full practice that you get in toward January, but what are you looking to see from your guys and from your staff at this point in the season?
Yeah, I always really enjoy the fall. It's exciting to get the new players on campus, get them immersed with the team. You're looking to see like what kind of leadership will emerge within your program there. So that's always something to look forward to kind of checking that out. And then just seeing guys compete, getting a sense as we go through the fall of kind of what the lineup's going to look like, what's the rotation going to look like, because the reality in Indiana, there's not a whole lot of days outside before we start playing real games. So this is a good chance for us to be on the field, be able to compete, and hopefully you leave the fall with a good sense of what your roster and lineup's going to look like as you head into the spring.
Speaking of your roster and lineup, you're heading into year 5 now. So at this point, as the head coach, at this point it's all about these guys that you have handpicked and recruited yourself now. No more holdovers, really. What is that like for you, knowing you have kind of built that personal relationship with everybody on your team now?
No, that's a great question. It's exciting. I feel like we've got a really good culture of people in our program. Obviously, a lot of talent as well. We graduated 16 guys last year, which for a baseball team is a ton. So it's going to be a different looking roster. A lot of young players going to have to step up for us this year, but I think we have some really good leadership from our older guys, and just excited about the group. I think we've got, like I said, really good people in our program that value baseball, that value being a part of a winning championship culture. And like you said, they're all guys that I recruited to come here. So hopefully it ends up being a good group and we have a good season.
With you losing so much experience, who are some of maybe the older guys you expect to be leaders?
Yeah, I would start with 2 seniors that we have. They're both all-conference players. So Connor O'Connell is a senior for us. Was actually an academic All-American last year. He's a third base, first baseman from Florida, but just a great leader, obviously a very good player. And then Mason Rasmussen is a senior catcher for us. He'll be a 3-year starter at a position where, you know, leadership's really important and that stability. So I would say those two guys for sure. But we've got a good senior class. We've got a lot of high character guys in that group that have really bought into what we're trying to do as a program. So we'll lean on those guys. It is a younger roster. We have 9 freshmen, and I think we have 12 maybe sophomores. So, you know, a 33-person roster, 21 guys are underclassmen. So the veteran leadership is going to be very important for us this year.
Obviously, we still got a long way to go to February, but as of right now, who are some of those underclassmen who you expect to be impact players right away?
Yeah, I think it starts on the mound. We've had a lot of younger guys that pitched a lot for us last year. Liam Richardson threw quite a bit. He actually started the first game of our conference tournament on the mound. Andrew Noblet was a freshman last year, threw some big innings for us. So I think those two guys definitely. I think we have some freshmen coming in that'll compete for some innings for us. So I'm certainly expecting and hoping that freshman sophomore group can kind of step up and you know, be more in the mix to start and get some big innings for us on the mound. And then positionally, we graduated, you know, probably 5 or 6 everyday starters. So there's going to have to be some younger guys that can come in and be in the mix there. And that's why the fall is so important, to see kind of what that looks like, who's going to step up. There's definitely a lot of talent. Now it's just trying to figure out how it best all goes together.
Last year, you guys had a winning record in conference. What do you think it'll take for you guys to just do that again and then maybe do more and be at a position to win the conference once you get to that conference tournament?
Yeah, I think the conference has gotten better every year that I've been here. Last year, I thought it was super competitive. And the biggest thing in our league is just consistency. And I thought last year we had a couple series where we didn't play our best, and at the end of the year, it cost us a chance to win a conference championship. And the team that won the conference, Manchester, was the only team not to lose a conference series all year. So I think consistency is huge. But, you know, baseball, it's about pitching, it's about playing good defense and finding ways to get timely hits and produce offense. And I think if we can do those things, you know, we're as good as anybody in our conference. But the key is, can we be consistent and do it week in and week out?
How does building that consistency start all the way in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, you got to establish your standards and your expectations. And like I said, being my 5th year, I think our veteran guys understand kind of what that needs to look like. So lean on those guys to provide good leadership to the young players. And you certainly hope that your guys learn from things that have happened in the past. So the ways that we lost some games last year, you know, can we make adjustments? Can we change the way that we approach that to where we're not making the same mistakes again that, you know, can cost you in a big baseball game? So, you know, it's an execution game. It's about throwing strikes, catching the ball on defense, putting balls in play, executing offensively, and I believe if we can do that, we're going to be in a really good spot by the end of the season.
When you talk about it's about your seniors kind of leading the way for that consistency, what does it do when your seniors at this point can kind of be like an extension of you as a head coach? What does that do for your team and their overall success?
Yeah, it creates buy-in. You know, when you have your best players and your veteran guys that, you know, are speaking the same language, that are bought into what we're doing. They're setting a good example as far as how we work, the work ethic. And I've been really fortunate since I've been here. Even the guys I didn't recruit that I've coached the last few years, we've had really good older kids. Something about Rose-Hulman, you're going to attract a certain type of student athlete. So I've been really fortunate to coach great kids. But yeah, I feel like the veteran guys this year certainly bought in, and you know, they want to win a championship, and we've been really close the last few years. And you know, I think we got some motivated guys that are looking to take that next step and win a conference championship and be in the national tournament. And it definitely starts with those veteran guys.
How would you describe the style of play you want your team to play with going into 2026?
Yeah, I think it's aggressive. I want us to be aggressive. I want us to be dynamic offensively. So can we do a lot of different things to score runs between, you know, hitting home runs, playing small ball, running the bases. But championship teams, you got to be able to pitch, throw strikes, and catch the ball consistently. So if we can do those things, you know, we're going to have a good chance to be there at the end of the season.
Last question, Coach. Do the Titans win tomorrow?
Yeah, we were talking a little football before. I'm excited about the new quarterback. We'll see. He's a rookie, and the NFL is obviously challenging, but excited to get the year going. And it's definitely a fun time of year with college football starting, the NFL going, baseball, postseason coming up. So definitely enjoying all that's going on right now.
Well, that is Rose-Hulman, head baseball coach in Nashville native Adam Rosen. Coach, best of luck to you this year.
Awesome. Thanks, Zion.
And we are still at half here, 27-0 the score. DePauw on top of the Fighting Engineers. Be back in just a moment at halftime here on RHIT.TV.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
Warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Welcome back to the halftime show here on RHIT.TV. Rose-Hulman trailing DePauw 27-0. Zion Brown and Tony Donahue with you as we get ready for the second half. Let's look at some of the stats, and a telling sign in that first half was the first downs. DePauw with 16. The Fighting Engineers with just 4 passing yards for DePauw, 144 to Rose-Hulman's 32. They ran 39 plays to Rose-Hulman's 24. 4 punts for the Fighting Engineers, while DePauw has not punted. That they've scored on 4 of their 5 possessions in that first half. However, the 5th ended on a goal line stand defensively for Rose-Hulman, which sent us into halftime. No interceptions on either side, and it's been a relatively clean game as far as the penalties go. Just 3 for 30 for DePauw, and Rose-Hulman, discipline is there. They have not committed a penalty this evening. 17:57 to 12:03 is the time of possession in favor of DePauw. For Rose-Hulman, Jay Smith, 12 carries, 16 yards. Keating is 5 of 9 for 32 yards. He has been sacked twice for the DePauw Tigers. Caden Whitehead, 13 carries, 85 yards, and 3 touchdowns in that first half. Carson Johnson had 3 carries for 29. Scott Ballantyne is 12 of 15 for 144 yards and a touchdown. He's connected with his brother Robbie Ballantyne on 5 completions for 93 yards and 1 TD, a long of 38. They have punted 0 times, while Rose-Hulman has punted it twice. So Carson Johnson, 2 returns for 19 yards, and the scoring looks like this. They opened it up with 8:11 into the first quarter. Whitehead an 8-yard touchdown rush. Barry missed the extra point. Ballantyne with that incredible 15-yard touchdown pass from his brother keeps the foot in for the score to go up 13-0, and then back-to-back Whitehead rushes of 2 yards and 35 yards to get us to 27-0 on the scoreboard in favor of DePauw. But I want to go back to that last possession where Rose-Hulman, back against the wall defensively, came up with back-to-back stops to keep the Tigers out of the end zone. And 27-0 here is the score at halftime. And DePauw will receive the second half kickoff. And I think I speak for everybody in the building when it comes to Rose-Hulman. You want to see a little bit more in the passing game going downfield, as we mentioned with the stats there. Keating just 5 of 9 for 32 yards, and rushing-wise, not too much better rushing, just 15 yards total, and really only 1 rushing net yards. So you want to see that continue to go up for Rose-Hulman, continue to stay in front of the sticks, move the chains. They went 3 and out for their first 4 possessions in that first half. So you want to see the offense opened up here a little bit for the Fighting Engineers. Third down conversions, just 1 of 6 for Rose-Hulman. As for DePauw, they are 5 of 6 in that first half. And fourth down conversions, it was a 1 of 1 clipping for DePauw. And then one of those third downs for DePauw of the 5 was for a 35-yard touchdown run on a 3rd down and 1. So it's been all DePauw in that first half. Zion, what have you seen, and what do you need to see more out of when it comes to Rose-Hulman in the second half?
I just think we should expect to see more passing attempts. Just 9 in the first half for Keating, only 32 yards on 5 of 9 through the air. We got to see him try to throw it a little bit more, and I think it starts with this first drive. I know, obviously, DePauw has the ball, but if Rose-Hulman can take that energy, take that momentum from getting the goal line stand that we just saw to end the first half, and they can hold DePauw, maybe not to a 3-and-out, but maybe you don't let them cross midfield on this drive, and you're able to get a stop for the first time today, or a second stop of the day, I should say. Then things change, and you really feel like that transfer of momentum can maybe go from the Rose-Hulman defense to their offense. So I think they should start on this first drive for both teams. I think if you're DePauw, you're maybe a little bit angry you were inside the one on 2-3 straight plays and you weren't able to score, and so you come out and try to get a long touchdown drive. But both teams have something to work on for sure after that first half, and I'm really looking to see which one is able to play this full 60-minute game.
If you're Jeff Sokol at halftime there, obviously, you're going to tell your team, hey, we're going to erase the scoreboard. Let's go out and win the second half, trailing 27-0. But what do you need to see defensively? You obviously took some momentum into the locker room with that goal line stand and keeping DePauw off of the scoreboard. 27-0, you're not out of it, but you're going to need to go quickly and, like you said, get that passing game going.
Right, and defensively, it's about getting that push on the defensive line. I feel like, especially on offense, DePauw has won this game at the line of scrimmage. And for the first time, really, we were able to see the Rose-Hulman defense fight back at the line of scrimmage. So let's see if they can do it again.
So Rose-Hulman will kick it off to get things started here in the second half on RHIT.TV. We appreciate you spending your Saturday evening with us here. The first game of the season on both sides for DePauw and Rose-Hulman. The Fighting Engineers won't return home actually until October the 4th when they take on Hanover. That's a 2 o'clock start on RHIT.TV. They'll be on the road at Trine and Albion over the next 2 weeks, then have a bye week, then return home with HCAC play underway when they take over Hanover. Then back-to-back on the road again. So really only one home game from now until October the 25th. It's a short kick. It'll be fair caught at about the 24-yard line, and that's where DePauw's offense will take over, leading 27-0.
So here we go. Let's see defensively if Rose-Hulman can respond. And I wouldn't be surprised in one of these first 1 or 2 plays if we try to see DePauw take a shot deep down the field and maybe take a advantage over aggressive defense.
And mentally as a player, yes, you're down 27-0. It's going to take a lot for you to come back in this game. But how do you mentally go into this half and try to just say, hey, it's 0-0, let's go out and win the next 2 quarters of football?
Again, I said it at the end of the first half, reps are reps. And if you want to fight for your spot on the starting lineup and you want to show your coaches that, hey, you deserve to be out there from down to down, you got to put some good things on film.
1st and 10, pistol, fakes one handoff, dishes it off. Shimmy, shake is Whitehead for about a yard.
That looked like some old, prime Le'Veon Bell, the way Whitehead just got that handoff and just kind of bounced around the backfield. But the hole never really opened for him. Great job to stay in their lanes and stay in their gaps by the Rose-Hulman defense.
So 2nd and 9 on the 1-yard pickup on first down. Two in the backfield alongside Ballantyne. The look to throw here. Looks to the right side, fires it high, caught, and he got a foot in. So Ballantyne makes another great catch on the boundary there. This time enough for a first down.
We see it again, Tony. It's Robbie Ballantyne somehow when it looks like he's just running out of real estate, getting a foot down and being able to make the catch. We saw it on that touchdown catch he had in the first half. He's now up to over 90 yards.
Yeah, that ball looked slightly overthrown in the offset, but it was hauled in. Quick screen pass here, caught. The right side gets to the 40 and stays on his feet and stays in bounds for a pickup of 3 on first down.
The last catch actually got Ballantyne over 100 yards today, 104 through the air. So picking off where he left off in that All-American season he had last year.
Yeah, and you expect him to be pushing triple digits in every contest as the number 1 option for this DePauw football squad. Second and 7 from the 40. Screen pass caught, and the defense of Rose-Hulman is there for the loss.
The safety, Antonio Barnes, sniffing that play out from the get-go, and Barnes, the leading tackler for this team a year ago, showing why he's really one of the main leaders of this defense.
Pushes them back behind the sticks. That'll set up a 3rd down and long. As Rose-Hulman will look to get off the football field defensively here. Out of shotgun, Ballantyne looks, under pressure, steps up, plenty of time, fires, caught to the 45, tackled out of bounds, but looks like it'll be just enough for a first down. And they will move the sticks indeed, so just enough. They needed 11. He probably got 11 and a half there. And it looks like DePauw says, hey, we're content to go faster. We're going to go with the no huddle. Let's see what that can do.
If I didn't know any better, I would not think this is Scott Ballantyne's first start at quarterback. He navigates the pocket so well. You saw the pressure coming up the left side off the edge. He just stepped up and made an accurate throw out there to Riccardi.
Shotgun. Under pressure, hit hard, almost intercepted and incomplete. The ball bounces. A great push there defensively from Rose-Hulman.
Rose-Hulman brought the blitz. Ballantyne had to get that out of his hands quickly, and Wyatt Bell was sitting on that hitch route and just wasn't able to pull it in for the INT, but Bell, nice breakup regardless.
So it'll be 2nd and 10, 12:08 to play here, 3rd quarter. Shotgun, 3 wide set, high snap over Ballantyne. He'll fall on it at about the 28-yard line. That'll be a loss of 19, and the pressure there from Rose-Hulman starting to get to DePauw.
And we go back to the first half, Tony. Backup center in the game now, Mark Ortiz. Yep. Zach Kerr is not back into the game, so we hope that he is all right going forward, but it looks like it'll at least be Ortiz for the rest of this game, and you see the issues with that backup center. You mentioned it as soon as the injury happened, that things just change when you got a new center in there. It's not an easy job to just come in and do off the bench, as we saw.
Especially that first game of the year, right? You've probably been working with the twos all year, and that's going to cost them. 3rd and 29. Quick screen just to try to get a little bit back to flip the field position. Out of bounds at the 35. And DePauw will have to punt on their first possession. So we talked about some of that defensive momentum as Rudy Griffin in there from Plano, Illinois, on the tackle. We talked about some of that momentum defensively in the halftime. They follow that up with a stop here on the opening possession.
If DePauw was able to pick up the initial first down, but the high snap derailed everything, and you can feel the life coming from this Rose-Hulman side now.
Low snap. Still gets off a good boot. It'll be fielded at the 20-yard line. Backpedaling. Spins out of one tackle, spins out of a second, and to the 25-yard line is where Rose-Hulman will start their first possession of this second half. So Rose-Hulman struggled to get the offense going and the football moving in that first half with just 4 first downs. Maybe some misdirection here, maybe some different offensive looks to try to stay ahead of those sticks and get down in the plus territory.
And we'll see what they do. Buddy Gomez with an excellent punt to really flip the field position and not give Rose-Hulman great starting position here.
Yeah, they'll mark it officially at the 24. So a 1st and 10 for the Fightin' Engineers. Handoff. Smith passes the 25 to the 26-yard line. They'll give him a pickup of 2.
Of course, Rose-Hulman will continue to lean on Jay Smith in that backfield, but a good scout by DePauw. They just know that ball is going to him more often than not, and he hasn't been able to break loose much in this game.
So 2nd and 8. No sense of urgency quite yet out of Rose-Hulman. Shotgun snap. Keating hands it off. Smith met right at the line of scrimmage, gets past the edge and pushed back. And forward progress will get him to the 27-yard line. So maybe a gain of 1. 3rd down and 7 here for Rose-Hulman.
Dominic Siebel, that defensive end in this 3-4 alignment for DePauw, really sniffed that out immediately and was able to wrap up Smith for what I think was just no gain.
We'll see if they go to the air. Keating just 5 of 9 in that first half for 32 yards. Keating fakes the handoff under pressure. He's going to be hit and sacked in the backfield. DePauw sniffs that one out and gets the big 3rd down sack. And that'll force a punt coming up here for Rose-Hulman. Number 97, Dominic Siebel, all over it. The Cathedral product, a senior for this DePauw Tigers team.
Back-to-back great plays by Siebel. 1 in the run, 1 as an edge rusher. Siebel showing his versatility.
Here's the punt. It's a good one. Fielded at the 35-yard line, and he's going to have to go down right there. Not much field position flipped, and DePauw will take over from the 35-yard line. So defensively for Rose-Hulman, you're finding a little bit of something here, right? You're getting the stops. The offense has been stagnant here. If you're Rose-Hulman, I think you need to start looking at some of those quick pitches, quick screen passes, and just try to gain that momentum and that confidence early.
Yeah, they just have not gotten much to go their way offensively. And it puts the defense in a bad spot. Right now, the defense is probably feeling pretty good about themselves, getting back-to-back stops. They're still down 27 as the offense hasn't been able to put up a point.
Quick handoff, passes the line of scrimmage, squirts forward for a pickup of about 8 on 1st and 10. That is the backup Carson Johnson, the guy that we talked about in that first half. He's a speedster out of the backfield.
And they marked him down a little bit earlier than it looked like he went down, just to gain a 6 that time. But I like the fact that this DePauw coaching staff trusted Johnson. He just dropped that punt the play before, and on the first play of the offensive series, they say, okay, we'll still give you the ball, see what you can do with it. And he stays in as the tailback.
Shotgun snap, handoff, getting the edge is Johnson, breaks out of 1 tackle and a 2nd, and he is going to be drugged down right at midfield at the 50-yard line, and he lost his shoe on the play. So he'll check out. Whitehead will check back in.
Antonio Barnes just got a piece of Johnson. If he didn't get there, that was going to be a foot race to the end zone between Johnson and the rest of the Rose-Hulman secondary, but it's a 1st down regardless, and DePauw looking to get back into plus territory, just 2 yards away from midfield.
And nobody wants to lose a foot race when one has 1 shoe on.
That is a good point.
There'll be some jabbing about that in the locker room. Delayed handoff, Whitehead, plenty of space, plenty of room, juking and jiving past the 40-yard line. Some extracurriculars going on, and the frustration starting to build here for Rose-Hulman.
I couldn't tell if that was intentional kind of on the way down from Gavin Groh, or if he and the offensive lineman maybe just kind of got tangled up and were stumbling into each other, but nothing really ensued after they both hit the ground, so I don't think it was much harm there meant on the play, but nonetheless, another good run for this DePauw offense and Caden Whitehead.
Looked a little floppy-ish if you think back to the NBA. 1st and 10 from the 40. Handoff. Whitehead uses a defender ahead of him to push the pile forward. That's going to be a pickup of about 6 there on 1st down. Set up a 2nd down and 4.
Bennett Smith, the left guard, just kind of clearing the way for Whitehead. Whitehead was just kind of putting his helmet into the back of Smith and basically guiding him to those 8 yards on the play.
So 2nd and 3, ball on the 33. 6:35 to play, 3rd quarter. 2nd possession of the 2nd half here for the DePauw Tigers. Quick slant route, caught at the 28-yard line, and then a shoestring tackle to the 25, enough to move the sticks. Another 1st down via the air for DePauw.
That is the same play we saw Leighton Lukowski get to the goal line on, right, to end that first half. DePauw didn't end up scoring, but it's just that quick kind of half slant, half in, and where you just stop in your tracks, put that foot in the ground, and turn the other way. This time, a good enough tackle to keep him from getting loose, but it still picks up a 1st down.
First and 10 at the 25-yard line. Patient set here for the Tigers. Fakes the handoff. Valentine under pressure, steps up, he's going to run with it, slides down at about the 18. So a pickup of 7 there on 1st down. Looked to go deep, didn't have anybody open, decides to use his legs for a positive gain of 7.
Kudos to the DePauw offensive line. Once again, they're down 2 starters at this point in the game, but they gave their quarterback Valentine plenty of time to survey the field, and once he realized no one was open, he was able to rush forward for a gain.
Whitehead in the backfield. Valentine on the 2nd down snap. Hands it off. Whitehead is met right around the line of scrimmage. Positive momentum gets him to the 18-yard line for a pickup of 2. It'll be a 3rd down and manageable here for DePauw. Inside the 20 into the red zone.
Could be another run. This is a 3rd and 4. You could try to pick up all 4 here on the ground, or even just get 2 or 3 and set up a 4th and short. Looks like this will be a 2 tight end set, which gives you an indication of what we might be seeing.
So 3rd down and 4. Rose-Hulman faithful come to their feet, looking for a stop. High snap, gathered. Johnson has it, and he's hit hard. Ball might have popped loose, but he gathers it back up, and I believe it's going to be just short of the yard to gain. A 4th and 2 coming up here, so decision time for DePauw, and I think they'll line up to try to kick the field goal. This should be from 32 yards. Hey, we want to thank our friends at Officially Human. Our mission is to restore respect for game officials and recognize them as authorities on the fields and the courts. Do your part. Practice good sportsmanship. No officials, no games. A great officiating crew tonight, letting the boys play. Not a lot of penalties on either side. In fact, Rose-Hulman has not been penalized in this game. 32-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is true. So DePauw adds to their lead. They lead 30-0 with 3:47 to go here in the 3rd quarter on RHIT.TV.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Countdown 3, 2, 1.
.347 to go here in the 3rd quarter. DePauw tacks on a field goal good from 32 yards out to push the advantage to 30-0 over the Fighting Engineers here on RHIT.TV. Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you. Today's broadcast is a copyright production of RHIT.TV and the HCAC. Any use of audio, video without the express written permission is prohibited. Kickoff fielded at the 8-yard line. Some blockers ahead, has some space, gets to the 30, keeps the legs moving forward to about the 32-yard line, so a little bit of momentum there. for Rose-Hulman. And look, we talked about this at halftime. Scoreboard doesn't matter right now. You certainly want to get on the board as we look at this 32-yard field goal. That was true. Pretty good kick. Probably would have been good from about 50.
A great job by Barry to get those points on the board. And now you look at Rose-Hulman, best starting field position of the day. They had not started past their own 24 before this. And so now they're getting it all the way up at the 32-yard line. Let's see what they do with it.
Out of shotgun comes Keating. Smith in the backfield with the man in motion. Handoff. Lowers the shoulder, spins out of one tackle. And every white jersey out there all over it to stop the forward progress on a pickup of 5 on first down.
Jay Smith is so strong, and I know that's just a 4-yard pickup, but to even get 4 out of that when it probably should have been 1 or 2 was impressive, and now you make this a much easier second down for your offense.
Pat Cherry and Family Source Insurance is your independent agent, proudly representing Ohio Mutual Insurance. Call them today, 317-894-7000 for coverage tomorrow. 2nd and 6, 3-minute mark of the third quarter. Man in motion. Keating hands it off. Smith passes the line of scrimmage. Picks up maybe 2. So it'll come up with a 3rd and manageable. They'll mark it a 3rd and 5 from the 37.
See if they decide to put this through the air on a 3rd and 5, or if they try to give it off to Smith yet again.
Haven't gone in the air much here in the second half. Really haven't gone in the air much all night.
And again, Colton Nanko at the top of your screen, or who will be at the top of your screen, still does not have a reception.
Yeah, they're going to look for him here, but they'll dump it off. Smith has it. Does he get enough for the first down? We'll see where they mark him. He spun forward. No chain movement yet, and they will move the chains. So a nice job there out of the backfield finding Smith for the first down.
Great read by Keating. I think you had it right there, Tony. I think his first read was to Colton Nanko. There were kind of 2 defenders smothering him, and Smith was wide open out of the backfield and got just enough to move the sticks.
So Keating, who could eventually ultimately become the 2nd-string quarterback. There's some injuries and possibilities for this Rose-Hulman squad from the quarterback position. Will roll out here, and will dump it off for a gain of 1. So 2nd and 9 coming up.
Haven't really seen Rose-Hulman take a shot with Keating. I wonder on this drive, now that you're in this middle of the field, in this area, if at some point here, especially if you can get another first down, if you try to go deep with it.
And Ben Klein on the reception there. We haven't heard much of him from the tight end position this evening as well. Out of shotgun. Smith rolls out. Keating finds across the middle. Gets a block from Smith. Passes the 45. First down. Right on cue. He finds Ben Klein. Ben Klein has 4 catches here this evening.
Everybody else's route was at least 10 to 12 yards up the field, and Klein just on that shallow cross finds himself wide open. Good block you see on the replay by Jay Smith to free him up for more yards after the catch.
Yeah, and Klein came from the top of your screen all the way and just in time, enough for Keating to get off the completion. And it'll be a first down, 1st and 10 from the 42. Into plus territory comes Rose-Hulman. Looking for the first points of the season. Smith tries to get the edge, and he's drugged down for a loss of 1, and that more than likely should get us to the end of the third quarter with 25 seconds on the clock. We want to thank our friends at Aspen Creek Grill. Aspen Creek Grill, absolutely delicious. Why go anywhere else if you're looking for fresh, amazing food and servers who truly care about your experience? You have to try Aspen Creek Grill. 2nd and 11, 7 seconds. We'll see if they try to get a play off here before the end of the third quarter. Keating out of shotgun, 2 on the clock. Gets it off, fakes the handoff, under pressure, rolls away from it, and he's going to be sacked at the 50-yard line. It'll be a 3rd down and long to start the fourth quarter from midfield for the Fighting Engineers of Rose-Hulman. Through 3, all DePauw, they lead 30-0 on RHIT.TV.
A great lawn starts with the right equipment. At Reynolds Farm Equipment, we're here to help you make mowing easier and more enjoyable. From zero turns to lawn tractors, John Deere mowers give you the power, precision, and comfort to get the job done right. Plus, with expert service and support from Reynolds, you can spend less time worrying about your mower and more time enjoying the results. Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local John Deere dealer since 1955.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you here through 3 quarters. It's been all DePauw. They lead 30-0, and defensively, Zion, not only are they pitching a shutout, but they've been getting into the backfield on almost every play.
I've been super impressed by the play of Dominic Siebel. Now has 3 sacks on the evening. Great way to start the season. He had just 1 all of last year, so he's tripled his sack production in 3 quarters of play to start this season.
3rd and 18, ball at midfield. Quick screen out of the backfield. Smith has it, picks up about 10 on the play after breaking out of 2 tackles. That about cuts it in half, but it'll still be a 4th down and call it 9. You going for it here? I think you do. Nothing to lose. You're down 30-0 in the 4th.
I don't think there's any other choice in this situation. I know it is 4th down and what looks to be about 11 here, but you just got to go for it. Great job by Smith just to even make this a 4th and reasonable, because when they first threw the ball out to him, it didn't look like that would be the case.
Hard count here, possibly?
Maybe, yeah. Could be a part of the idea.
They'll fake the handoff under pressure. Flips it, completes it, but to the 40-yard line, just a pickup of 3. They needed 11, and the ball will be turned over on downs. DePaul's shutout still intact. 14-14 to play in the 4th, and DePauw will take over, leading 30-0.
Tony, I know it's probably part of the playbook, but on a play like that, I don't see the need for the fake handoff. Everybody knows you're passing the ball.
Yeah.
All the fake handoff does is gives the pass rush, more time to get to that quarterback, and you saw he just had to kind of check it down to his tight end, and that was never going to pick up the 1st down after that pass rush got near Keating.
Become an IndianaSRN sponsor today. Support high school and college athletics across the state of Indiana while putting your business in front of thousands of loyal viewers each week. Coach at IndianaSRN.org for more information. Jerry Collins, Chance Middleton, Troy Darengowski, Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you here. High snap, corralled, handed off. Passes the 40 to the 45-yard line, and he's pushed out of bounds. And about the 47, a pickup of 7 on 1st down.
And under normal circumstances, I would say, hey, maybe at some point, DePauw, you take the starters out. But I think you want to keep Scott Ballantyne and Mark Ortiz out there for as long as you can. You just saw that high snap again. Once again, we don't know how severe Zach Kerr's injury is. DePauw may have to go a significant amount of time with Ortiz being the starting center. So you want to get him as many game reps as possible in that spot with his starting quarterback.
Yeah, and especially being the first game of the year, right? You're looking at, all right, it's first game of the year. We want to get as many reps as we can despite the scoreboard. And they're going to keep it in the air here. They're going to complete a pass for a 1st down on the 45-yard line, move the sticks into positive territory, goes DePauw.
And offensively from DePauw, I can't imagine that their offensive coaching staff, led by the OC, Mason Espinoza, has been too pleased with this second half, how it's gone so far. They had to settle for the field goal in the last drive. The drive before that stalled out after a poor snap. And so after putting up 27 in the first half, the 3 drives since they got to 27 points on the scoreboard haven't been great.
They're going to throw it again. Quick slant, wide open. And they're going to mark it incomplete. Ball bounces off the turf. Had a wide open look there to the intended target of Riccardi, and it looks like he just missed it off the turf.
Riccardi really good at playing these short and intermediate routes, but this one, really the worst throw accuracy-wise we've seen from Ballantyne today. He's been pretty on target, but that time just kind of was low and away from the receiver, and it caused the ball to slip through to the ground.
2nd and 10 from the 42. Going to throw it again out of the backfield. Caught. Whitehead bursts of speed forward past the 30 to the 26-yard line. And a big pickup there of 16 to move the sticks.
I love the simplicity of the DePauw coaching staff, because that's just a simple swing route out to your running back. You get 2 wide receivers out there blocking and all the space in the world. You don't have to be the most complicated offensively when you trust your skilled players, and that's exactly what the Tigers did on that play and what they've been doing really all game.
1st and 10 from the 28. Shotgun snap, under pressure, and Valentine will go down on the sack, and a nice push there from the defense of Rose-Hulman, and the sack going to Gabe Adams.
Adams just got through that line with ease, and Valentine, who has been so great in the pocket today, that time with Adams charging on to him, really had no other option than to just tuck the ball and go down.
And this is senior leadership from Gabe Adams, right? Yeah, you're down 30-0, but you're setting an example. Let's still go get after that quarterback. Let's still try to get some major defensive plays. Throwing across the shoulder, across the field, but caught. This time, Lukowski with the completion. That'll be a pickup of about 14, so they get most of that sack back, and it'll be a 3rd down and 6.
Nice play call. You know they're going to be playing a soft cushion, soft zone on 2nd and long, and you just pick up a decent amount of yards to give yourself a chance on 3rd down.
Out of shotgun. DePauw through the air, under pressure. Valentine, enough for the 1st down. Hassett slides down, and forward progress will mark him just short of the 15. They'll mark him down at the 17-yard line. He needed 6. He got 7.
Great blitz pickup by Seth Mincer, the running back. I think it was Evan Gass for Rose-Hulman coming on the blitz on the right side of the offensive line. He picked up the blitzer, and that allowed Valentine to scramble forward and pick up the 1st down.
10:54 to play here, 4th quarter. DePauw with a 30-0 lead. Valentine looks to throw, wide open. Caught at the 15, breaks out of 1 tackle to the 10. They'll set up a 2nd down and 3.
Palmer Samuels has been used as kind of like a hybrid wide receiver tight end in this game, right? He's listed as a wideout in the 2 deep, but a lot of times it feels like he's coming out of those tight end spots in the flat as you see him sub out, and we see the listed starting tight end Will Castor coming to the game, but they're using him almost like a de facto tight end despite what his position says on the roster.
2nd and 3. Ball at the 10-yard line. Handoff, backfield. 2nd burst, spins out of 1 tackle to the 5-yard line, and it's enough for the 1st down as they push it forward with Seth Mincer.
Strong carry by Mincer. That's all that offseason training, leg day, right? That's all you see there, just strong legs, getting through some tackles for the 1st down, 1st and goal.
Keeping those legs churning, allowing yourself a few extra yards. Mincer gets it again. Lowers the shoulder, gets close, but I think he stood up right at the goal line. They're going to mark him short, so I pick up a 4, 2nd and goal from the 1.
All right, Tony, deja vu.
Yeah.
Let's see if this time, if DePauw can get it across or if Rose-Hulman can find a way to make another stop.
We'll see if DePauw tries to go right up the gut again. They will, and this time Mincer untouched into the end zone for the touchdown, the 4th rushing touchdown of the evening for DePauw, and they push their advantage to 36 with 9:12 to go in the 4th quarter.
Way to open up a hole for your running back there, just collapsing the defense in, and Mincer saw the hole, got through it, and you said it, untouched into the end zone.
For over 131 years, Wheeler Mission has been a pillar of the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to the people in need. Can you volunteer with us today? 317-686-6239. They're looking for volunteers. A couple months away, the Drumstick Dash on Thanksgiving Day. Extra point is true, and it's 37-0 in favor of DePauw here on RHIT.TV.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
This is the hotel breakfast.
It looked different online.
Do you children like eggs? Here, they make your bones grow.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
All right, guys. Look alive.
Is it fine, Daryl?
I'm starving.
When free hot breakfast can make or break your day, it matters where you stay.
Go get him.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the...
Welcome back to Rose-Hulman in Terre Haute, Indiana, where DePauw has a 37-0 lead with 9:12 to go in the fourth quarter. Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you. You got to be impressed not only what DePauw has done offensively, but this defensive shutout as well.
Yeah, both ends of the field, they have done the job, and especially defensively, just being able to get stop after stop has been impressive.
Fielded from the 5 on the kickoff. Let's see if Rose-Hulman can get something going. Last time it was brought out to the 35-yard line, breaks out of one tackle, but can't get to the 20-yard line. And this possession for Rose-Hulman will start from the 19. LifeWise Academy, LifeWise program, support educators and communities by improving student outcomes. With LifeWise Academy, your community can bring biblical values back into the classroom. 614-367-5767 as we see that last Minster touchdown.
Is there
going
a flag?
in untouched.
I didn't realize.
I didn't see a flag.
Offside. 53. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty will be assessed. To the end of the first down road.
So Rose-Hulman yet to be penalized tonight. Just the fourth flag on DePauw. A greatly officiated game, and I think it needs to be said, on a game, your first game of the year, a lot of jitters, a lot of timing issues. Both teams very disciplined here tonight.
Yeah, sure have been. Even a penalty like that, those offsides calls can be called on, I feel like, almost every kickoff, but they call it that time, and it ends up costing 5 yards for DePauw.
Delayed handoff in the backfield. Smith gets it back to the line of scrimmage. Hey, we want to thank our friends at the Morales Group. Morales Group Staffing. We're in business to create a better future for you, your family, and the community we share. Whether you're looking for the right career or the perfect candidate, we're here to help. Call us 317-472-7600. Second and 10 from the 24, 8:39 to play. Rose-Hulman looking to get on the board for the first time. Man in motion, Keating takes the snap, he'll look to throw. Fires across the body, and it's going to be ruled incomplete, I believe. Yeah, it was a throw across the body on 3rd and 10. Would have been enough probably to move the sticks, but it falls incomplete.
We've talked about it a few times already tonight, Tony. Keating just needs to take a split second more to set his feet on those throws toward the outside, and that one probably would have been completed for a first down, as you mentioned. Instead, he just rushes it a little bit too much, and it's not very accurate, falls to the ground, incomplete.
It's hard to move your feet and throw across your body. That just becomes a throw that doesn't have mustard behind it, so to speak. It's better when you set your feet. Under pressure here, he's hit immediately, and he's going to be sacked back to the 15-yard line. So add insult to injury here as Rose-Hulman gets pushed back onto the sack. That is the 6th sack of the night for the DePauw defense.
Excellent pursuit that time. Luke Nolan getting behind that offensive line and coming up with the sack, his first of the day.
So Rose-Hulman will punt it. DePauw looking to get good field position again here. 37-0. The Tigers with the lead. Good snap. Good boot. Spiral kick fielded at the 35-yard line on a fair catch. And DePauw will start the possession from the 36. So impressive here tonight, to say the least, for the Tigers defensively and offensively. 37-0 with 7:39 to play. As much as you threw the football on your last possession to find the end zone to push us to a 37-point deficit, I think we'll see a lot of this football staying on the ground on this possession.
This gives you a chance to run the 4-minute drill if you're DePauw, and I know there's much more than 4 minutes left on the clock, but you try to spend and waste as much time as you can running the ball, picking up these short yardage situations. This is what it's all about right now for this DePauw team. It looks like they are bringing in the second unit with Anthony Garzolini at QB.
So Garzolini out of shotgun. He'll hand it off. No, he'll throw it on the fake handoff. Screen pass, caught, passes the line of scrimmage, picks up 6.
Garzolini back at home, Terre Haute native, so getting to play here in front of, hometown fans. I'm sure he's got quite a few people he knows in the crowd.
Garzolini from South Vermilion. Just south down on Highway 41. Takes the snap. He's going to go to the air again. Fires across the body. Diving out of bounds, but incomplete. A valiant effort there from Tristan Foran, the Monticello senior. But he couldn't haul it in, and it goes incomplete. So 3rd and 4 coming up.
Foran only at 5'11", could not reach up to pull that one through.
So when I said they would run the football, they've gone 2 straight through the air. How about a 3rd time? This ball thrown, caught, and a nice sliding grab by Foran, and it's going to be enough for a 1st down.
So on one play, Garzolini makes Foran try to reach up towards the sky and pull the ball in. Then the other, he puts it toward the ground, and and Foran has to reach down and make a sliding catch, and this time he's able to pull it in, though. Great job.
They'll go quick, no huddle, 6:32 to go. Garzolini hands it off. Plenty of space, plenty of room, and enough for about 4 yards on 1st down on the handoff, and that's going to go to Luke Russo, the Louisville, Kentucky senior out of Kentucky Country Day School. Second and 5 from the 46. Garzolini under pressure, fires a lob. It's caught at the 30, to the 20, 10, 5, and to the 1-yard line on the pitch and catch. It's Evan Pitzer, the Erlanger, Kentucky sophomore, takes it down on the goal line.
Can't believe he got caught there. I thought he was getting in for sure, but barely down at the 1. Missing out on his touchdown. Now he'll come out of the game, but it's been impressive to see what these subs have done for DePauw on this drive, and now they're a yard away from putting up more points.
Yeah, it's one thing to get carved up by the 1st string, but you certainly don't want the 2nd string to come in and carve you up. And that's what we've seen on this possession.
Now Pitzer stays in, it looks like, too.
Garzolini on the hesitation and stuffed immediately. A little bit of a delayed handoff there to Pitzer, and he's stuffed. It'll be 2nd down. 5 minutes to play, 4th quarter. We'll get you some stats now that DePauw has went to their backups. Ballantyne will end 22 of 27 for 224 and a touchdown. Whitehead 17 for 106. Quick throw here, deflected and off the fingertips of a wide open Jack Gordon and incomplete.
Tony, those catches off of deflection are much harder than they look when you're running at full speed. You see the hand get up that time just barely by Rudy Griffin, and it was able to throw off Gordon for what should have been a touchdown.
So Whitehead ends up with 106 yards gained on the ground for 3 touchdowns. Ballantyne 6 catches, 104 and a touchdown. 3 wide, top of your screen. Fade back of the end zone too far, but he calls it in, and they're going to call it incomplete. He's out of bounds. So it looked like it was slightly overthrown. But Pitzer goes up and hauls it in, but couldn't keep his body in bounds. So it looks like DePauw will attempt about a 20-yard field goal here.
Love the effort from Pitzer, because when that ball left the hands of Garzolini, I thought there was no way that he was even going to be able to catch it. To even catch it was impressive, but it was still too far for him to get that foot down in bounds. But that 6'4" frame really doing him a lot of justice in trying to bring that ball in.
Buddy Gomez, the kicker from Cathedral. And DePauw a little bit out of sorts, and they're going to call a timeout with 4:26. We'll take it with them, 37-0 DePauw on RHIT.TV.
play here for Mount Vernon. Hurdle looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw.
Boy, what a stick, huh?
Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off, and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
The officials will come together on the kick, flags flying everywhere. And we'll see who jumped first here on the replay. Yeah, it looks like it's on DePauw. Looks like they jumped first.
I think that's Aiden Bunton, Martinsville native, who jumped a little bit, but there still hasn't been an official call made. Here we go.
Offside. Defense.
Ooh.
Number 57. Penalty decline.
Not the way I saw it. They'll decline the penalty, and they'll line up for the kick.
Yeah, so they say Jacob Fields was offsides, but doesn't really change much here.
4:26 to play. 20-yard attempt. Gomez boots it through, and DePauw adds to their lead. 40-0, 4:23 to play on RHIT.TV.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you can be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
It's been all DePauw in this one. 40-0, they lead Rose-Hulman. 4:23 to play. Tony Donahue, Zion Brown with you as we get a look at this great crowd from Rose-Hulman. They came early and often. They were tailgating, grilling out, enjoying some beverages long before the kickoff of this one on a beautiful night here in Terre Haute. DePauw with a 40-0 advantage over Rose-Hulman. 4:23 to play. Zion, what's impressed you the most out of this Tiger squad?
I have to say it's been Scott Ballantyne. Either him or just the defense as a whole, right? The way they've been able to hold Rose-Hulman scoreless. But the starting quarterback, Ballantyne, your first career start, you complete 82% of your passes. You rush for another 29 yards as well. And so it's been really impressive to see what he's done.
Short kickoff fielded at the 17-yard line. Keeps the legs churning forward to the 32. So some of the best field position to start a drive here for Rose-Hulman. 3 timeouts, 4:16 to play. What do you want to see on tape that you could use on tape here for the next couple of weeks as Rose-Hulman gets set to head out on the road? They'll be on the road at Trine next week, and then Albion in 2 weeks, followed by a bye week to end September. They return home here to take on Hanover on Saturday the 4th, and back on the road for back-to-back. So only one home game between now and the 25th of October.
It's the second unit out there for the Engineers. Travis Grayson now at QB. And they look to see what he can do, and that's not a great start.
And he takes it off of his face mask. Fielded by the up back and taken back for a loss of 6. Let's take a look at what we have coming up for you next week. Hope taking on Franklin on HCAC.TV. Franklin right here on our airwaves today with a victory They'll be at home next week at 1:30 for that kickoff for the second head coach Leonard era for the Grizzlies of Franklin. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Like and subscribe here on YouTube as well. As Grayson scrambles out of it, he takes another hard lick back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd down and long. We have some incredible high school matchups coming up for you on IndianaSRN. Don't forget to follow our friends at Rose-Hulman, RHIT.TV, Rose-Hulman FB on Twitter, Rose-Hulman FB on Instagram, RHIT Sports on Facebook and YouTube as well, for plenty of Rose-Hulman fight and engineering action right here on RHIT.TV across several sports over the next couple of months. 3rd down, screen pass, caught in the backfield, tries to get a block, gets past the 35, stays in bounds for a pickup of 4. It'll be 4th down and 6.
Shoestring tackle made there by Jeremiah Miller. And it looks like Rose-Hulman has no intentions of bringing the punt unit on, and never mind, they stood out there for a good 7 or 8 seconds and looked at the sideline, and then they did indeed trot out Segudo to punt this away.
So this is a series that dates back to 1894. Last year, it was a DePauw 57-14 win. All-time, Rose-Hulman will fall to 12-47-1 against DePauw. And the Tigers have now won 9 straight in this rivalry, dating back to 2004. Menser will call for a fair catch at the 32-yard line, 2:15 to go. I think we'll see a heavy dosage of the run game to close this football game out here for DePauw.
Man, this is a DePauw program that is so hard to beat, right? I mean, back-to-back undefeated regular seasons for the Tigers, right? And so they're now on their 3rd year trying to continue that streak. Last year they got upset in the NCAA tournament by John Hopkins, but they won that crucial game to win the NCAC in that Monon Bell game, beating Wabash. That game was to clinch the conference in the final game of the year, and then they moved on to the tournament. But they've been really excellent and almost impossible to take down during the regular season.
It's been a beautiful night from Cook Stadium here in Terre Haute. As you see the far side there, DePauw showed up, showed out, as did the Rose-Hulman crowd. Unfortunately, only one team can go home the victor, and DePauw with a 40-0 lead as we've reached the 2-minute timeout here of the 4th quarter. Final 2 minutes right around the corner on RHIT.TV.
Poached egg on avocado toast.
Ew.
Your flash fried porgy over chips.
Ew.
Your fresh main lobster with microgreens.
When the only thing your 8-year-old will eat is waffles.
She's fine. She's fine.
Your waffles, milady.
It matters where you stay.
Yum.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
It's a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have
2nd and 3 for DePauw as we go under 2 minutes. Handoff in the backfield, keeps those legs chugging, and passes the line of scrimmage, but it'll be 3rd down and short coming up with a $1:48 to go in this contest.
1st down here, and you can take a couple kneels and head home if you're DePauw. So let's see if they can pick up this 1.5 yards, but it looks like maybe just a yard just to put this game on ice. Once again, impressive effort for this DePauw team. They continue to be a force to reckon with during the regular season. Again, last year went 11-1. They've gone 10-0 in the last 2 regular seasons. Just really incredible what Brett Dietz has built.
Quick handoff here. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage and pushed back on 3rd down. And I think if you're Rose-Hulman, you look, DePauw, a little bit more of an inferior opponent. We obviously know what they could bring to the table. They obviously know, kind of now when you walk out of this game where they stack up. What worked? There were times of this game where the rushing game worked. There were times of this game where you're going to look at a 40-0 score and say, oh, they dominated them. But there was a couple possessions that Rose-Hulman stood their ground defensively. What can you take out of this week and apply for the rest of the year?
I think it has to be more of a balance for Rose-Hulman the rest of this season in between the passing game and between Jay Smith. You mentioned it. Keating may not be the quarterback the full way for Rose-Hulman. We'll see how things shake out for them, but you can't put on film the fact that you're going to run the ball, almost seemingly every time.
Yeah, and there was a lot of what we talked about, right? A lot of, we knew they were going to run the football, so can we do some misdirection? Can we get some of those quick passes going? Give us some of those final stats here as we have 31 seconds to play. DePauw leading 40-0.
Yeah, you went through most of the DePauw starters earlier, going over to Rose-Hulman, 10 of 15 in the air for Keating, but just 63 yards on 15 passing attempts. So all of his completions are really short ones. His longest completion was just 15 yards. Backup quarterback Grayson, 1 of 1 for 40 yards. Only 20 total yards for Jay Smith on 18 attempts. And I think that was because DePauw knew, like I said, time after time, that the ball was probably going to Smith. We saw those wildcat formations. His longest run of the day in 18 attempts was just 5 yards. That obviously has to change going forward. Need better from the offensive line if you want that to be different. The tight end Ben Klein was their best and most notable player in the pass game for Rose-Hulman. Klein had 6 catches for 50 yards after having 7 catches all season last year, so he's already at a similar mark.
So it's a 4th and 1 with 31 seconds to go. DePauw will bring their punt unit out. Boot from the 30. High spiral punt caught at the 20. Fair caught, and Rose-Hulman will take a knee, and this one will go final. So DePauw comes into Rose-Hulman, continues the winning streak against the Fighting Engineers. They'll move to 1-0, while Rose-Hulman will fall to 0-1. But I did the Cathedral High School football game last night, and you look at a team like Cathedral where they're at 1-2, but they play Brownsburg, Ben Davis, and St. X. These are the type of games for Rose-Hulman that, although 40-0 probably stings, they really set you up for later in the season.
Yeah, they may not play a team better than DePauw all year long, right? And so, obviously, you would have liked to score tonight, but just the fact that you've played this game, your toughest opponent might have been your first opponent, and now you can go forward saying, okay, we know what it looks like to play against a team that's one of the best in the country. Now let's see what we can do against teams that aren't necessarily that week in and week out.
We want to thank everybody here from Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology for having us to kick off the season here on RHIT.TV. We always enjoy coming here to Terre Haute, whether it's football, basketball, volleyball, or soccer. For the entire crew, including Jerry Collins, Chance Middleton, Troy Darengowski, Zion Brown, I am Tony Donahue from Cook Stadium. Rose-Hulman falls to 0-1 on the season. DePauw defeats them 40-0. We'll see you next time on RHIT.TV.